Okay, all right. And welcome back to another stream of Horde of the Dragon Queen. This is our second one today, and we're doing this today to be part of the 24-hour stream that Miniax Miniature is doing. And wow, he's been on the ball all day, and I know that Missy's been on as well, and it's been just really a great thing for Meeple Palace. We've loved having you with us most of the day. Hopefully you're still with us now, and we'd love to see you know, hopefully you can comment and chat with us in the chat stream. We're on Twitch, we're on YouTube Live, we're on Twitter, you know, we're everywhere. We're on D Live, so please, it's just been wonderful having you with us. It's all for the kids. It's part of the charity stream. If you feel if you it's for extralife.org. The information is in the is part of the announcement that we did, and it's all for the kids. So please donate to the kids, donate and help us out, and let us have a great time while trying to help some kids with get a better life. Well, Nate will tell you a bit more about that as we come around to him. But starting from our streamers today, first of all, let's just say Point won't be with us today. He can't make it, unfortunately, so I will be taking on the role of his rogue character, Tack.
He is in the chat, so hi Point, thank you very much. Hope we don't kill you.
Hi Point. Yeah, Point, if something goes wrong, let me know. If you're like, Tack wouldn't do that, then maybe Missy can interrupt with that, but I'll do my best to play him as without killing him. So let's go around and just introduce yourselves very quickly. Okay, we start with base operations. Will, can you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, folks. Thank you for joining us. I am Will from Bases of Operations Painter Studio. I'm a miniature painter here on Twitch, and I am playing Rogar, the Red Dragonborn fighter, who literally has just gone up to level 4, as with everybody else. And yeah, he is a battle master fighter who has just taken his first feat, and I won't say what it is on stream. We'll see if it comes up during the episode.
Brilliant. Let's go next to Miniax. Miniax, can you introduce yourself?
Hey everybody, it's me, your old buddy Nate from Miniax Miniatures. I just want to before I say anything else, I want to say a special thanks out to all the viewers, all the supporters, everybody who's been here overnight and today, watching the stream, donating to our Extra Life campaign. It really makes a difference in real people, in real kids' lives, in the real world, and you can make that difference so easily. Just make a donation or get involved. You know, anybody can do something. So everybody can do something. Okay, so I am a sculptor and painter of miniatures for tabletop games, and I do a few other sizes sometimes. And I am playing Weird Hal, fella right here. Is Weird Hal, and he is a human College of Lore bard who is now level 4.
More spells, more theatrics,
more spell slots, more spells, more cantrips.
And will he keep his trousers on?
That's always the question with Weird Hal, isn't it? When will he try to shock the enemy by taking down his pants?
Did you say?
Oh God! Now I'm giving him ideas. Okay. Next up we have Callum. Would you yourself, Callum, please?
Hey, it's Kevin here. I'm playing Pedrick. Pedrick is a cleric. He's been having a rough go of this the last couple of days in this dungeon, but we're going to start calling him the One-Eyed Cleric, as you will soon see if you haven't figured that out yet. Pedrick just feels like the gods have given him this ability to make him stronger, so he's just going to strive with it.
I think it's really ironic, personally, that Pedrick chose to lose his left eye when in real life he's missing his right eye.
It's glass.
That's awesome.
See my glass eye?
Well, I mean, what annoys me is he's probably got the highest passive perception out of all of you guys, and now it's going to be affected by him. Not all his wisdom checks are going to be at disadvantage. All right, and finally we have Missy TTV. Yourself, please, done.
Yep, so hi, I'm Missy TTV. I'm a variety streamer. I do miniature painting, video games, knitting, writing, all that jazz. My character is Vistra. She's a mountain dwarf rogue. She's an arcane trickster. She is now level 4 like everyone. She hasn't chosen her feats this time or multi-class or anything. She's just sort of buffed up her, I think it was her dexterity and her wisdom to help with the perception checks because that's not gone so well for her. But other than that, yeah, she's had an interesting moment with Rogar, so that'll be interesting to see what happens later on with that. And yeah, she's got a lot to tell the guys, and I'm sure they've got a lot to tell her, really.
Okay, I'm gonna point out here as well. I'm gonna point out here. I call Missy T darling because we are actually boyfriend and girlfriend, not just I just randomly call people darling. I call Miniacs darling sometimes. You know, it's hi darling. Let's just to point that out. It's the beard. Okay.
Don't forget yourself.
And finally, oh yeah, I haven't forgotten myself. I'm just getting around to it. Okay, so also we have myself. I am many more games. You call me Zanny or Xander, whatever you want to call me. And Zanny, because I'm trying to change mine to Zanny more games. It works. But anyway, so I'm a bit of a mixed streamer as well. I do painting. I do modeling and stuff. But the one thing I don't do anymore, I haven't done that a lot recently. Most of it's been focused on D&D. This is my first time being a dungeon master, so I'm always learning new things. For example, someone actually messaged me about hiding and how I've been doing it wrong. So, Missy, you cannot just vanish into thin air anymore. You actually have to duck behind something in order to hide. That is actually the rule. You can't vanish when something can see you. I didn't realize that.
Where's that person that messaged you? Where's the person that messaged you? Where do they live? What's their social security number?
I checked it in the book. I checked it in the book. It's totally legit. So yeah, if as long as you're visible, you can't hide. Anyway, so just to let everybody know as well, we also have our last player who's not here. Point. He's from Holland. He's still pretty new at Dungeons and Dragons, but he does a lot of role playing stuff himself. He joined us in the last game. He's playing Tak, the Lightfoot Halfling, and the Halfling Tak the Lightfoot Halfling Thief. And unfortunately, he can't join us today, although he is in the chat. So I will be controlling Tak, or at least these guys will pretty much be controlling Tak. I'll just be rolling for him. You can basically say, Tak, go here, do this, and he'll go, oh, yeah, all right. And so I'm like, just go for it, little bro. But that's basically how it works. Finally, just to let everybody know, I think everybody's a bit tired from yesterday's stream. So we're all a little bit shattered. I know Miniacs is like almost hysterical level of tired right now. So
You've done so well, Miniacs.
So he's done really, really well, but just bear with us if we seem a little bit more dopey today and not quite on the ball because we're all a little bit knackered from our late night game last night. So, all right, but no one more so than Miniacs.
Yes, and I think we'll be definitely trying to stop at 2:30. I don't think.
Yeah, I think that's the time. I think we're going to go past 2:30 today. Our time. That's 2 hours 15 minutes. 45 minutes.
The thing that really weird, the thing I find really weird about Tak joining the party so late in the game. I mean, we've all been working really hard this whole time, and then Tak shows up just in the last session. Already, he's totally beaten us at D&D. What's the deal with that?
Yeah, what's up with that?
All right, guys. Quick recap before we begin. In the last incident. Your entire game is stumbling from one incident to another. In the last session, our adventurers continued their investigation into the mysterious dragon hatchery. They walked carefully into another chamber from the fungal gardens. Unfortunately, failing some of their stealth checks, Rogar banged into a pillar or clanged his shield against the pillar, and Pedrick also made a bit of noise. And what this did is actually alerted all the bats that were on top of this chamber, and they started spinning around all over the place and causing a lot of distraction. While that happened, some very opportunistic Sturges took the opportunity to try and latch themselves onto our adventurers, and they spent the next hour trying to swat these things, trying to kill these things. At that point, a mysterious Lightfoot halfling ran in to aid our adventurers, and it turns out that he had been sent here by his master in order to investigate the hatchery. He's not quite sure why. He's also quite opportunistic, and he realizes probably an opportunity for treasure if he were to come in here as well. And so our adventurers interrogated him. He seems to be legitimate, and Tak has now joined them on their adventure. Tak took them to an area that he'd already explored, which was it's almost like a pile of goods and items, miscellaneous items, and Tak went down to investigate. Vistra tried to investigate, but got yanked back by Rogar. Wasn't allowed to go down there while our adventurers took a short rest. Tak managed to find a pouch of through his 5-minute searching, he managed to find a pouch of semi-precious stones, which he then very covetously kept for himself. Using his sleight of hand, he managed to slip them down the front of his tunic. No one noticed. And so now he is 60 gold richer. And after that, basically what happened is Vistra being in a huff with Rogar, went for a little walk to try and clear her head, and ended up in the midst of an entire gang of kobolds and their leader, a winged kobold. She hid, and while this was happening, our other adventurers, while they were sort of walking around waiting for sort of to make a decision as to what they were going to do next, was set upon by a strange chameleonic monster known as a troglodyte. There were 4 of them, and they managed to do some serious damage to our adventurers before they were beaten and killed. Rogar was taken down and suffered some internal injuries. His leg was broken, which was actually fixed by some magical healing. But unfortunately, Pedrick was also knocked to the ground after voluntarily going prone, I might add, but knocked to the ground, and managed to take. He rolled a 1 on the critical injuries table and lost an eye. So now Pedrick is at -5 to wisdom perception checks, and that rely on sight and on all ranged attack rolls. He's got disadvantage. He can get his eye back by regeneration. Okay, so we also had a bit of really cool RP play where Vistra went very arcane trickster, put all the kobolds to sleep, sniped their leader, ran back, said to the guys who were like limping and just waking, someone just waking up from this combat, basically, guys, there's guys over there, and then she and Tak went off together and just killed the kobolds in their sleep. I then allowed the party to take a long rest. This will be the only long rest you get to take in this dungeon, because you can only take one within a 24-hour one every 24-hour period. And to be honest, you probably shouldn't have taken one now, but I'm going to allow you to take a long rest. Allows you to take a long rest because everybody was otherwise going to die.
Well, plus we wouldn't have been able to level up either.
Plus, you wouldn't have been able to level up. Yeah, so it all works out that way anyway. So, from where we are right now, you guys are sitting on the plateau above the troglodyte horde of junk. And, yeah, what do you want to do?
Vistra says to everyone, "What happened here? Who are you fighting?"
Oh, sorry. Please forgive me. Before we continue, I need to do some stuff. Basically, I need you all to. We're actually taking the long rest, and we need to do that. So first of all, I need to know if you are setting watch. Was anyone on watch?
Rogar will take a watch.
All right. I'll allow you to split it. I'll allow you to split it up with like 1.5 hours. You still get the benefits of a long rest, but I need to know who's going to.
Vistra.
Hal always takes the first watch.
Right. So either Rogar or Vistra or Kellum. Then I don't mind.
Are we going to do this in pairs or one at a time?
I need to know because I need to see if anything happens.
All right.
While you're doing that. You are in the middle of an enemy stronghold.
Yeah.
I'll
Well,
take the last one.
Rogar will ask the group then. Are we going to take a watch in pairs, or are we going to hope that we're all going to do this one at a time?
Well, we can't really rest one at a time, but we can leave just one person guard.
Well, if you leave one person on guard, they will not get the benefit of a long rest because they need to sleep.
No, I
Right,
mean, are
but
we
so
going to take it in turns,
you need to
one at a
sleep,
time, or are
otherwise-
we going to take it in turns in pairs? That's what Rogar's asking.
Oh. Do we need? I have no preference. I have no idea or preference.
Pedrick says tactics would dictate we do it in pairs.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine. But if you do it in pairs, you will not individually get enough sleep
All right, we'll have to
to
do
be
it
able to do
one
it.
at a time then.
Yeah, you see, that's what I'm saying. We should be taking turns because one person can wake up all of the others.
All right, we'll do it one at a time.
Why not have Weird Hal take first and Kellum take why not have Weird Hal take first and Pedrick take second? Because I heard them say that. So
Don't forget, Pedrick will be at disadvantage to any perception because he's still like nursing a wounded eye.
He can still hear.
But basically, also, I also need to expend another torch if you're going to keep your torches going, because of course they won't last for 8 hours. If you want, you can light a campfire. That's fine with me. If you have enough does anybody have a tinder box or anything to start a fire? I say in sort of the junk pile, you could probably find old books and things. If you just want to climb down there and grab enough to make a fire, that's okay. But I will say that you have to expend at least one torch if you want for each person on watch.
I don't have.
we're not saying that, are we, to do a campfire? I mean, I'm pretty sure I've got Tinder. But we're not going to need a campfire, I don't think. We're not going to be here for long, and we don't really want to be.
I mean,
Well, we'll be here for at least 8 hours. Well, 8 hours
yeah.
plus.
I mean, if you are staying there with a torch, basically, if every hour I need to have I basically need to have one torch disappear from someone's thing because you need to be spending your torches.
I will.
Why doesn't Vistra take second watch? Because she's got dark vision, so she won't need a torch or anything, and she can expend one if a problem comes up.
It does mean, however, that if they get up, if they have to get up, they won't be able to fight straight away because they won't be able to see.
We're going to need a campfire. We're going to be here for
What about my hooded
10
lantern?
hours.
Yep, you can use your hooded lantern. If you have enough oil for it, you can use your hooded lantern.
So Weird Hal only had the one torch.
Okay.
I've got 10. Oh no, I've got 9. I've got 9 torches. One's in the box.
Let me have a look. What's my explorer's kit?
I can provide the first
All
hour.
right. I'm gonna say basically that basically Tak is kind of like he says to him, I got dark vision. I can see in the dark. But you guys, you won't be able to, if we're attacked, you're gonna have to take some time to light up torches and get ready to fight properly. I mean, it's your choice. We can not have a campfire if that's what you want, or we can. I mean, I don't mind. It's up to you. But just remember that unless you can see in the dark, like me, as a halfling, or as a Vistra can, because she's a dwarf, then you're going to be in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, we need. I tell you what, Rogar's going to pop down. He's going to climb down down here, and he's gonna look for broken wood. He's going to look for broken barrels, crates, anything that's broken.
There's paper down there as well.
And anything.
There's lots of that around. You don't even need to take a check. You can see there's bits of broken barrel. There's like an old wagon wheel. There's a few boxes. There's some old books. I mean, you could easily put a fire together out of this. You could probably even fashion a torch or two. If Vistra will use up some of her oil. Probably fashion a torch.
I don't actually know if I've got a hooded lantern actually.
You do.
It's not in my itinerary.
It's in your thieves. It's in your thieves kit.
Yeah.
We'll make a campfire. We'll make
Alright.
a campfire,
All right, we'll
and
make
we
a
can
campfire.
we can extinguish it.
All right. So
Weird Hal looks over to Tack and he says, "So, were you putting on an accent just now? Or were you putting on an accent all day yesterday?"
this is just the way that I see that Tack might talk. He's the sort of guy, but you know, I mean, but you know, I'm a master of performance, so I talk like someone else. You know, some point in the future.
How can I can't remove the torch. I mean, it's only been through the 2 fights, so I guess it's probably got about. Maybe
Well, I mean,
20
you can,
to 30
if you're going on first watch, you can keep that torch. I'd say you can keep that torch for the first watch, but then
Use your torch. Use your torch to light the fire, because I'll pile it all up. Use it when you're just as your torch is about to die. Use it to light the campfire.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Sounds good. All right,
I'm
so
going to just move over here to the corner so that I won't be easily seen right away.
okay,
I'm going to sit there with my little torch and I'm going to guard. And if I hear or see anything that's not my friend, I'm going to make a loud noise.
okay. So don't forget that that is 10 feet up. So so if you're standing there in the corner, you won't be able to see anything above. Really, you will probably have to climb up on top and sit sort of sit on top. Yeah.
See up here?
Yeah, if you want to be on watch,
Yeah.
you probably have to sort of sit up there because that's 10 feet, and you wouldn't probably be able to see.
It might be worth. It might be
Too
worth
well.
if you do sit there as well, because you can see anything that's coming up these up the stairs from this direction, and you'll have at least a little bit extra time.
I'm going to do that over here where there's
Okay.
a nook that I can jump down.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, if you jump down, you take 1d6 bludgeoning damage, but you know that's all.
For a 10-foot ledge?
Huh?
No, Weird Hal climbs down like a little kid, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you said if you jump down, climb down's different. If you jump
Right.
down, it's 1d6
You
bludgeoning.
knew what I meant, though. He you know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
With Weird Hal, I don't know. You might just be flying
You don't know what you're
into the
doing.
air and go, guys, Rogar, catch me! You know, I don't know
Well,
what he's going to do.
speaking of which, Rogar will take his long rest here.
All right, so so basically, all right, so basically, yeah. So Weird Hal, you're sort of standing. You're standing on guard. You've got your little torch. You're sort of glaring out into the darkness. You can hear like soft rumbling snores from below you as you know Rogar is just growling as he's sort of asleep. You kind of hear like Vistra, like sort of asleep, but there's sort of like a high pitched sort of little snores in the background. Pedrick Pedrick maybe finds it a bit more difficult to sleep due to the pain in his eye, but he does manage to get off to sleep. Weird Hal, as you're sort of sitting there, and as you're sort of sitting there and you're spinning your maybe you're spinning the dagger of Sunfire and sort of maybe playing with it, kind of like doing some like something to keep you awake, you know, because you're tired, you're exhausted. You kind of start to slumber a little bit. Maybe not fall asleep, but kind of like daydream a little bit as you're sitting there on watch. And one thing sort of comes to mind as you sort of drifted, you sort of like, and you're looking into the darkness of the cavern, and it seems like the light is shifting and swirling, making little patterns in the air. Some of the spores from the mushrooms are still floating, and you can kind of see it sort of shifting and swirling in the air currents. You suddenly remember, you suddenly start to think, and this it almost seems to resolve into like a figure. Those swirling spores almost seem to resolve into almost like a recognizable figure, and you see in your mind's eye what appears to be a tall feminine figure sort of reaching her arm out to you, and then suddenly scattering into a whole load of motes of motes of those little spores and things. It just seems to like coalesce for a moment, and then the image is gone. Okay.
Just a real quick question: was she reaching out like she was beckoning, or was she reaching out like Like,
She was reaching out. She was reaching out, like almost like she was imploring you something, like
right.
almost like imploring you. Okay, and then she just scatters, and the image disappears. Okay, that you don't know whether it was your fevered mind. You know, after all the fighting, you've been so buzzed with the fight, and maybe so worried about Pedrick and people and Rogar and everybody who went down. I mean, I mean, you know that Pedrick is a good healer, but you also know that you're sort of like the combat medic of the group, and so you've got to worry about that. Um, and so basically, you've been feeling a bit strained recently. I mean, you're normally sort of more like good at music. You're more used to the tavern than a brawl.
Sure, this rough living definitely grates on poor Weird Hal. He's used to eating breakfast at dawn every morning and practicing his instrument. I mean, this has been just only several days out of the Abbey now, and already it's been like a whirlwind of travesty at every turn.
Yeah, and so this is a. I mean, you don't really know. You don't really know what that figure was meant to represent, but it does sort of remind you of. It reminds you of. There is a faint recognition of that figure. Maybe you met that person before.
Can I roll a history check?
Yeah. See if you can rack your memory. Yeah, you can try and rack your memory. Yeah. Roll a history check for me.
Oh, nice! I got a 10.
Okay, I mean, there's a couple of things. I mean, you don't really remember everything. I mean, you're sleep deprived, you're tired. But you kind of get a feeling that this figure is familiar to you. You get a hint. You kind of remember how this is a very tall figure. I mean, the character is very tall, and definitely feminine, and also you remember you were asked to do something, but you just can't quite remember.
Big in my pocket, and I'm going to pull out my mysterious note and just reference that for a minute. It says, rumors that my close childhood friend, a half-elf named Talus, has been kidnapped by a group of dragon cultists. My investigations have led me to the town of Greenest, and since then to this exact spot.
Yeah, you've been living in a whirlwind these last couple of days, and maybe you feel like now you get this sort of flash of insight. Maybe you got a little bit maybe off track of your own personal quest. I mean, you've been helping out Greenest, you're helping out Leosin now, but then your mind sort of just flashes this, and you remember, oh my God, I've got to remember that this is something that I actually set out to do. I've been helping my friends. I'm having a whale of a time, and sometimes I'm having just trauma in the others. But that my childhood friend might be in danger, and maybe, just maybe, there's some sort of information here to be found.
Right. Now that you're saying that,
I'm not saying it. This is in your mind. You're remembering.
Now that I'm thinking that, I'm thinking maybe I could. I have questioned a few people, but no one has seen Talus. We didn't see her at the Dragon Cultist camp.
Well, you didn't look everywhere in the Dragon Cultist camp, did you? You only got to see certain areas. Just remember, you didn't get to go to the main tent. You didn't go towards the you didn't manage to get close enough to the other side because there were the kobolds. There is always the chance that she was there or she is there, but you don't know.
I think just on an outside chance, I think I want to kind of. I'm actually gonna climb down from my spot. Mm-hmm. I'm going to move over.
You're leaving watch. You're going to be leaving watch.
What do you mean?
Well, if you leave watch, then I'm going to have to. I think I'll probably have to roll again to see if something comes across you unawares while no one's watching.
Right. Well, let's see here. I think. I guess technically 15 feet across the floor is still kind of within eye shot of where I was, isn't it?
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, as long as you're not so. I mean, shifting a bit, that's okay.
I'm trying to kind of like get over here.
Well, if you go over there, then you'll be actually leaving a position where you'll be able to see anything, because you'll be going down 10 feet and then looking down into an area which is in the opposite direction.
Right, so I'd be able to see basically the area where everybody is, but I can't see up over this lip.
Well, you'd have to look 10 feet up and over, and there's a chance something could come over to you without you being able to see it. Yeah.
Right. What I will do is I'm gonna wait out my watch, and I'm going to, when second watch wakes up, I'm not sure who it is, but I'm going to talk to them about it for a second.
Okay,
So
that's fine.
I got that in my head. That's in
all
my
right.
head.
So your mind starts working over this again. You've got something that you feel a bit sort of like you got a bit more your purpose, and you're thinking, oh my god, I've got to get this done as well. I need to talk to somebody about this. And it's something that's at the forefront of your mind as your watch comes to an end. Okay, so you've been for an hour and a half. If you do want to get the benefit of a long rest, you will need to sleep like within the next like half an hour. You need 6 hours at least. I'll say that.
Yeah. The only thing I really want to do is I just want to. This is literally just like who is on the next watch?
I think it's Pedrick, isn't it? Or is it?
Yeah, I believe they decided it was I.
So Pedrick, if you could.
So Pedrick, you wake up. You've got the
here so that we can keep the watch going, and I just want to make my way over to the cliff's edge.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to scan all the crap out there in the pile. And I'm just going to hope for the best and hope something catches my eye. I'm going to roll an investigation and hope I see something that sparks a memory.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sparks joy or something like that.
I mean, go ahead. I'm going to say disadvantage because you're high up and you're not actually down. Okay, if you want to go down, you can do an investigation check.
So here we go. This better work for me. Let's do it. Weird Hal. You're the man. Weird Hal. Let's do it.
Okay, so, all right. Well, a cursory glance over your cursory junk and materials. You don't really see anything that really points to anything you would recognize. I mean, don't forget you haven't seen Taylor for a long time. Taylor was your childhood friend,
right.
So basically, so you wouldn't really, you probably wouldn't know what she was wearing or anything like that. I mean, you don't see anything that would indicate a ranger's gear. You know that she was sort of like a guard or a scout for the town when she went missing, and you can't see anything that sort of indicates. You don't see like a broken bow or tracker's kit or anything like that you would see in this pile.
Okay.
Not from where you are.
I'm just going. You know what I'm going to do is Weird Hal is going to sleep on.
Okay, so Weird Hal's going to go to sleep. Pedrick. Okay, so let me
take my torch off.
Okay, so Pedrick, so you're sort of standing. You need to sort of come back up here so as to sort of take the place of Weird House, and you're within the range to basically see anything. Yeah. Don't forget you don't currently have a torch of your own, so you're sort of standing in the light of the campfire.
Let me know when it's time to cook.
So Pedrick, you're sitting in your looking out into the darkness. You're taking the second watch. You're very aware of the burning pain where your eye used to be, and you kind of start thinking about like the sacrifices that a cleric of your type often has to endure. I mean, this sort of damage is not unknown amongst your type of clergy. In your own temple, you would have known many masters that were missing limbs or that were missing eyes. You do know that certain gods are able to heal you. Unfortunately, the only issue is that kind of your god is kind of at an opposite end. to a lot of those sorts of clerics. So you might have to do some convincing to try and convince them that you require their aid. Your gods don't really normally help with that so much. They're more like for helping to close battlefield wounds or for just regenerate maybe a little bit of sort of stamina and stuff in those people that they fight. But I mean, your type of cleric is mainly focused on the act of righteous conflict. One thing that does spring to mind as you stand there looking into the darkness is you kind of see your devotion as having been your devotion to as kind of having been acknowledged by your god. You've taken a wound, but you've come back stronger for it, and it's not something that's going to incapacitate you in your ability to fight. So your faith is still, you can still feel your faith very strongly within you, and maybe as you stand there, you say a few little prayers to your god to try and reaffirm your connection to him, and you feel a sort of a sense of warm satisfaction. Your god is obviously pleased with your actions. You're righteous in combat. You protected those around you, and you suffered for your actions. But in doing so, you definitely earned your god's favor. Okay, so I'm going to give you inspiration for that.
The patch of honor.
Take inspiration. So that gives you basically 1d6 to use in like a save or an attack or something like that.
Okay.
So you are within your god's favor. You fought bravely and valiantly. Okay. So but nothing else seems to happen. Your watch comes to an end, and who's next in line?
I think that'll be Rogar, I reckon.
Can I interject for just 1 second?
Yeah.
Kel, I don't know if you've played with inspiration before, but the way it works is you can only have one at a time. So if you don't use it and you could have gotten it, you basically wasted it.
Yes, brother.
All right.
Rogar. So everybody else is now asleep. Rogar is taking watch, and just roll. Okay. All right. All right. So Rogar,
yep.
You're sitting. You're sort of sitting up at the top, and you've got your hammer. You're looking out into the darkness. Again, you're a dragonborn. You don't have natural affinity for the underground.
Nope.
And so you're on guard, and you feel your usual protective streak over your own companions. I mean, you're an honorable fighter, and you're a builder and not a destroyer, and you kind of see satisfaction in what you've done, even though you took some wounds. You feel better for it. You still almost maybe feel the dull ache, warning you, you're not invincible. But you do feel that you came out pretty well in that combat. Now, can you please roll a perception check for me? And you get you are alert, so I will allow you to add +5 to that if you want, because you are very on the ball. I'll give you I'll give you advantage. Roll again because you are very alert. You've just got your new things. So all right, okay. So as you sit there sort of in the dark, sort of sit there in the dark, within the range of your campfire, looking out into sort of into sort of the spore-filled air, it sort of glitters and moves and shifts. You notice you kind of notice trying to distract yourself, keep yourself awake. Got your hammer in one hand, you sort of pat into your pockets, and you bring out the little carving that you found outside of the area. And you start looking at it. You look at the craftsmanship. You sort of try. You realize that this is not something that was made by anyone who had any particular skill with the arts. But you do see it as a work of devotion, maybe, or as a work of someone who put their passion into it, even if they didn't really have the skill to express that passion. Mm-hmm. And as you notice, again, it's vaguely Rogar-like shape to it, Dragonborn-like shape to it, and as you do, something catches your eye. You see, just on the edge of the firelight, a pair of little shining eyes. Okay, and out of the firelight, stepping towards you, comes a little kobold-like character. He's on his own. You can't detect any other kobolds around him, which is unusual, because kobolds are pack animals. And they don't normally drift apart from the tribe.
He's so cute.
He doesn't seem to be threatening in any way. He doesn't have his spear up or a sling or sword out. In fact, he almost seems to be wary. But you can almost do an insight check for me, please.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Oh
Wow. Okay. So you see his body language by looking at his body that there is no threat there. Okay. This is not being aggressive. You get kind of the feeling that if you weren't the one on watch, this could be a different case.
Yeah.
But there's a recognition of your shared draconic lineage. Okay, and kobolds, if nothing else, respect draconic lineages, and they tend to follow bigger members of their own sort of species. Okay, but you can see in this person, a very almost like a hopeful expression on its face, and and you kind of vaguely recognize him. He looks very similar to one of the kobolds that was sitting next to you when you did your impromptu prayer. And he seems to be, there's recognition in his eyes too. And he looks at you and he sort of gestures, like at your hand, holding the little idol that you're currently holding. I mean, you speak Draconic. He speaks Draconic as well.
Yep.
Kobolds both speak Draconic. So you would understand that he was sort of saying, "You like?"
And in Draconic, I'm going to reply back, was this your craftsmanship?
He said he looks at you and he looks at you and he sort of looks embarrassed. His little scales flush a little bit, and his little scales flush a little bit, and he sort of shyly shakes his head, and he says, "No, but friend, good friend. Sad does not have any more."
I would gesture to him, and in Draconic I say, "Come closer, come sit."
Okay, so he looks. He looks a bit shocked, a bit taken aback. I mean, normally large don't treat kobolds particularly well, but yeah, he sort of shuffles up to you. He keeps a little bit of space between you and him. He's still quite a little bit wary, but he sort of sits down, sort of maybe opposite you. Not too close to the ledge where, let me just check. He will be hearing the snoring of your companions. So he's not going to get too close.
Mm-hmm. And I'll,
I'd say maybe he goes opposite you.
Yeah, that's fair. And I'll kind of reach out with the little wood carving. I'll say, "Does your friend want it back?"
He looks at you and he sort of looks at the carving and he nods his head. But he says, "But," and then he says, "But if you like, keep. You strong. You keep. You take. You keep. You strong."
I do like it. Your friend took time, and there is a little bit of your friend inside this.
He looks a little bit alarmed.
No, not really your friend. It's his essence. You know, he put a bit of time and effort, and he shared a bit of himself when making it, and that means
you
a
see
lot.
comprehension in his face. He comprehends what you're saying. He's just sort of, yeah.
And if your friend is, and if it would make your friend happy for me to keep it, I will keep it gladly.
He looks at you for a moment, and let me just check see how he would do with this. Plus, yeah. So but he looks at you and he says, you know, friend can always make more, but you strong take keep. Yes, he'd be happy to know that his work is liked by strong dragon like you.
But you see, just because I'm strong and I don't just take what I want. And I'll reach back and I'll take a silver piece from my stash, and I'll hand him a silver. I'll hold out a silver piece in my other hand, and I'll say, "I trade. I like the piece, and trade a piece of silver. But you give this to your friend, yes?"
I mean, with your insight check, you can pretty much tell what he's thinking. And he looks at the piece, and you can see kobolds are naturally a bit greedy. They're a bit mag. It's not always like that, but I mean, but yeah, you can see that he seems to be sincere. He nods. I give to him to tell you that this. I mean, you can hear him talking Draconic to everybody, and he was. You know, he sounds sort of like a bit loud, but you can understand what he's saying. And so yes, I give to my tribe. Tribe is important. I don't cheat tribe.
No, we don't cheat our tribes. Now,
as he holds out his hand to take it, you notice there's a weird sort of goldish shimmer to his scales. It's unusual. Kobolds can normally they can either paint themselves to look like sort of the dragons, the chromatic dragons that they wear, or at least they tend to be a bit more dull in coloring. So it's sort of like a faded red or a faded blue. But this is he has that sort of same coloring. But as his little scales like reach into the light, you can kind of see that they glint in a weird, almost like metallic fashion. And he takes the silver coin and he pops it into a little pouch by his side. It's not like into his pocket. He's just putting it by his side to keep it in his body. He goes. Why you come? Why you here? This is place many dangers. Why? I see earlier pray together. We did, yes. Pray to Dragon Mother.
Well, we're here because the bigger ones around you, the cultists and the half dragons.
You can see him spit on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does not like the cultists.
No, and we're here to get rid of them.
He sort of like looks up at you a little bit, sort of like, you know, but claps his hands and like, yes, bad cultists treat kobolds so bad. He says also kill kobolds.
Well, that depends on what side the kobolds are on. You see,
he looks at you and he says, dragon scale tribe, not winged horn. Winged horn here. Dragon scale gone. Eye left behind. Hurt, wounded. Last fight. Recovered. Nearly killed. Had to stay. On own.
You're all alone.
He doesn't seem particularly perturbed by this. I mean, he's a tribe not too far. I find soon.
Are there any other kobolds in here with you? Any other tribe? Any other kobold tribes?
Many kobolds here. Not so many as before. Big fire. But now kobolds still here. Winged horn tribe. Winged horn tribe. Not my tribe. Not my family. Very, very cruel tribe. Not friendly. Not good. Some kobold like me and my tribe, they do not work too bad in human place. Sewers, good places for kobolds. Sewers, good work. We make sewers, get many rats, get much food.
Sounds like a good trade.
Good trade. But bad men come, tell us to go. We go. Big dragons, strong dragons. We like big, strong dragons. Dragons is good. Dragons are powerful.
But power is not always the strongest. You're a clever kobold, and your mind can be stronger than power.
Okay. He looks at you and see how you react to that. Okay. He seems intrigued by your word. The idea of might not making right is a little bit to kobold kind.
Yeah.
So he's sitting there going, he's looking at you, telling him, and you can kind of see him going, yes.
Yeah.
Dragon telling what to do. Good idea. You know, good idea. Might don't make right. You tell me. Good. You strong. Good. I like. You know, so he's kind of like got this different approach to it.
Yeah. Mind is stronger.
It's a catch-22 situation. You're strong. You're telling him something. He likes your idea. He's taking it because you're strong, but also you're telling him not to trust you just because you're strong. So it's like little bit of steam coming out between his little horned ears.
Yep.
I think on this.
It's a difficult concept to understand. I can understand. Yeah. Okay. A smart kobold, such as yourself,
Kobold smart. Yes, many kobolds smart.
may have the idea that perhaps it would be wise to round up as many kobolds as they can, and as many kobolds as they trust, and find somewhere else to be as quickly as possible.
Yeah, he looks at you and he says, kobolds here, not good, not nice, not friendly, not good for dragon type. But tribe nearby, I fight them. We go. We not trouble. You strong, you good. You tell us what to do. Yes?
Yeah. How do I tell the difference between a good kobold and the bad kobolds?
Oh, you've caught me now. Okay, well, I mean, you would know that you would have a little bit of background knowledge on the other draconic races. I mean, kobolds are very tribal by nature, so you won't really know good kobolds from bad kobolds until you encounter their tribe. Different tribes have different values, and they approach problems different ways. The one thing about kobolds is all true is that they're all very tribal based and very loyal to their tribe.
Yep.
They do revere dragons, and they do tend to sort of follow the strong. That's what you would know. Kobolds can. I mean, you come from El Terrell. You would know that kobolds not. They're kind of treated as pests, but they're not really unknown as being useful. Kobolds in some major cities actually do dig the sewers for the major cities. They like being underground. They like being left alone. They're a bit like dwarves. They've got like an unerring ability to like deal with things underground. Some people actually employ them to dig their tunnels, sort of to dig the sewers. And then kobolds, kobolds actually can quite like, as long as they're left alone, and as long as they're left alone, maybe they're paid a bit and just treated with a tiny bit of respect. They can actually be relatively good neighbors, because you can have them sort of, as long as maybe a big dragon doesn't come along and tell them what to do. They can actually be relatively good. So I mean, they're not evil creatures by nature. They're more sort of neutral in the terms of, normally they fall in with the wrong crowd.
Yeah.
And they're sort of lawful evils. So they would sort of like do if someone told them what to do. They follow those rules. But yes, I mean, kobolds are not naturally like the enemies of all the cities. They will. They are intelligent, and they are able to do good work, particularly when it comes to digging. They're good tinkers, and they're particularly good at setting up devices and traps. So they're sometimes used as hunters as well. But yeah, I mean, you would know that kobolds can coexist with cities. They can do it. It's just normally that they do end up sort of following the strong. So if someone is stronger than them, they can be influenced in that way.
All right. Okay.
So each tribe will be separate. Sorry, somewhat. I'm hearing television or something on my ear. But yes, I mean, so you would know. I mean, you would know that until you actually met a tribe, you wouldn't really be able to tell them. So he's already told you that his tribe is not the dragon scale tribe. I think I said dragon scale.
Yep.
Yes.
Tribe is not overly aggressive. That's what he's been telling you, and that and he seems to respect you. You're a strong dragonborn. So he's already said like his tribe is away from here. They're not here. But he's also told you that like the winged horn tribe is quite aggressive and quite dangerous. So he's told you that to watch out for them. He's giving you some information there.
All right, I'm gonna possibly make fans of the show really happy right now, and possibly the DM hate me. I'm gonna reach into my pouch, and I'm gonna bring out some of the dried meats that I bought from Greenest, and I'm gonna hold it out and offer it to him, and I'm gonna say to him, my friend, why don't you stick around with me until we find the rest of your tribe?
Okay. He takes the meat from you gladly. He takes it, snatches it, starts looking at it, tastes it, puts it away in one of his little pouches, and he looks at me, he says, no, fine tribe need me, tribe need power, tribe need friend, me, good friend. Your name?
I am Rogar.
Rogar, good name, strong name, dragon name, good. Kill mosquito. Kill Sturge, one blow.
Very strong kobold.
And he like holds it up. Yeah, I got it. I killed him, and then eats it.
Yep.
But then he's like, no, good friend, good Rogar. Let Colbert go. Let Copernicus go.
Is that your name, Colbernicus?
It's not exact translation. It's just sort of comes across sounding like Copernicus. It's burning your castle. But
Yep.
You can just hear that sound.
Well, I'll tell him. I'll remember you. Go on. Go find your tribe, and remember the name Rogar.
He's like, yes, good. Remember Rogar, good dragonborn, strong dragonborn. See again, maybe future. Good tribe, good fortune. Bye. See you. Bye. Go.
And I'll just as he's about to, I'll just call out very softly, not to start shouting in this cave. I say, tell your friend to make some more. He's very good.
he looks at you almost a little bit asked, you know, because even he can recognize craftsmanship. He's like, seriously, but he looks at you and he goes, "I tell him you like. I tell him you like. Bye, bye. Go, must go now. Bye." And he just sort of skitters off into the dark.
Lovely.
Okay. All right. That is so. I think that's taken up.
Yep.
And your watch comes to an end. Is it Vistra up next?
I'm guessing that's everyone, isn't it? That would be me.
Yeah, and I'll go back
I don't think
down.
there's anyone else, isn't there?
Well, Tack can take. Wait, how? Where's your character? Oh, he's in the corner.
Yeah.
So he's blending into the background, even on my own thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'd say the last watch. You know, Vistra, you can take the last watch, or you can share it with Tack if you want. So the two of
I'll
you.
let Tack go first.
All right, so Tack will go first. Let's see if anything happens with Tack. Sorry, I know it's taking like half an hour, but you do need. Okay, so Tack's sort of sitting up there, and sort of he's looking down at you guys, maybe a bit exasperated that now he's sort of like tagged along with you because you know he was doing his own thing. He snuck it. He was sneaking in. He was looking around for stuff, and now he's sort of like a big dragon breathing down his neck. And a dwarf who he recognizes another person, like another thief who might be able to sort of suss out his motivations. But yeah, so he sits there. He looks into the dark. He sort of he thinks back to his mentor and his message to him, and probably it comes to the conclusion that it's a good idea to stick around with you guys for the moment because with the enemies that you fought. It would probably help him if he was in a, halflings are practical. Halflings are very practical, and they tend to like having a big shield between them and the nasty monster. So he's going to sort of stick around with you, but there's always an opportunity to slip away. Who's to say that he won't take it? Okay, so that's his watch, and Vistra, because that will take us up to the end. It's been 4 people. It's been 6 hours. I'll say that you can take the last watch. So let's just see if you do a thing.
Mm-hmm.
No. Okay. All right. So Vistra. You've had a nice long rest compared to the rest of them. You've had uninterrupted sleep. And as you're sort of sitting there, as you're sitting there, sort of looking into the darkness, you can see much further. Than the rest of them, obviously. Like Tack, you can see into the dark. You can see far, far, far further than the rest of them. As you sit there, you start to sort of maybe do a little bit of studying, looking through a little pocketbook that you have, maybe spells that you've been trying to learn, and you kind of feel a sort of surge through your body, maybe sort of almost like a slight increase in energy. And as you do so, you sort of like you feel the concentration in your mind. You're able to sort of like you feel I could memorize one more of these. I think I can do it now. I think I'm at that competency level. So you sort of look through and you look through your book and you decide on the spell that you want to remember. You spend a little bit of time scribing it again and again to try and remember it with your little piece of chalk or a little bit of charcoal. And as you sort of sit there and this thing comes to you, your mind drifts back to the faces of those that you've lost. And I think Tack has probably reminded you of what set you upon your path you're currently on. Meeting another rogue, meeting another person who seems to be a little bit self-serving. Has similar, maybe some similar sort of tricks to what you would be able to employ. You also feel angry. You're not quite over the way Rogar picked you up and held you like a child, off the over this thing when you wanted to go down and investigate. One of the reasons you took the path you did was to try and reclaim sort of like independence, your sense of self after the tragedy that struck you. To sort of reinvent yourself. And that feeling of helplessness is not something that you enjoy. And so as you sit there, you sort of you sort of choosing what sort of magic you're going to study next. Maybe a faint shimmer of a young dwarfish male face, sort of like just sort of shimmers over your vision, and then sort of like almost seems to like crack and almost seems to crack a bit. You desperately focus on this image, trying to like pull out some of the details that you used to know so intimately. You used to see this face every day, but time has passed now, and it's sad for you to realize that even with that time passing, certain details are starting to blur. You can't remember exactly what their smile looked like. You can't quite remember what what it was like when they were angry. Okay, you're not even quite sure whether this is the exact image in your mind of this individual, because time has gone by and you've maybe reinvented some details. I mean, you remember certain things for sure, but the fact that time has passed now means that certain details are starting to blur, and this also causes you to sort of like latch onto it with your anger, trying to focus on this image. But the tiredness is still there. You're still tired. You're still exhausted. It's been a very rough couple of days, and you can't quite see what the expression on this young dwarfish face is, but you get the feeling that the eyes are sad. If nothing else, the eyes seem to be looking at you sadly.
Okay.
And then sort of it breaks apart. The image sort of breaks in your mind, sort of breaks apart into a rolling, roaring coil of waves. And that's when you wake up out of your daydream. And
Okay.
the sound of the fire starting to burn down maybe stimulated your mind to sort of bring back that image to you.
Okay.
Okay. All right, guys, you've all woken up and you didn't get assassinated during the night. I know that took a while, but I had to be able to give some information.
GM, I don't have any more torches. Could you take away my light?
Take away your lights.
No, it's all right. He can have one of mine.
All right, so okay, there you go. He's handed one to you.
Great.
You can light it with.
I do believe. Let me just double check. I do carry an explorer's kit. I used one on the way in. I would relight one now. Give one to Weird Hal. That would then mean I should have, if I remember rightly, I should have 7 left.
Yeah.
Does 10 come in an
So
explorer's
Weird Hal's
pack?
got one. You've got one. So we just stats. You've got your illumination.
Also, GM, I checked. I only have a Dungeons kit and Thieves Source, and I checked. I do not get a hooded lantern.
Okay. All right. So you don't have.
So I don't get that. I just have my torches.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No problem. You don't have a burglar's kit. That's okay.
Yeah.
I think Tack has a burglar's kit. I need to check that.
He might. Yeah.
Let me check what Tack has. I mean, Tack wouldn't normally use it so much because he's got dark vision. But does he have a burglar's kit? Backpack, tinderbox, torches. No, he's got an explorer's kit as well. Torches, rations. Can you also mark off a day's worth of ration from your kit as well? Because you've had to eat. Unless anybody has the Outlander perk. I mean, maybe you could find some mushrooms. But there's not a lot down here to eat.
I can't remember how many rations I would have bought with my. I can't remember how many rations I bought when I bought that meat. I think it was about 10, wasn't it?
Or you, then you've got 10 days worth.
Right, yeah. I just gave one away, so I should have 8 left.
You should, yeah. You gave him one away, and you've got one more. So
you can also on the Roll20 sheet, if you go to an item, you'll see a tiny little cog. No, you can go to a tiny little cog, and you can actually select equipped. And when you equip it, you basically are able to type in the amount and basically go up and down with how much you actually have left, so it's easier to remember.
Oh, there you go. I mean, none of you fancy eating the rotten troglodyte kicked over the edge to sit amongst the mount. Okay, so you're all awake. You're all healed, well, except for Pedric's eye.
Arg,
Pedric the pirate. And yeah, so what do you want to do? I mean, you're currently standing against in the little sort of plateau between the chamber that's filled with sort of the trash and the treasure. That you didn't find because that was what Tack took.
I want to I want to mention to
Visha wants to ask.
Sorry, go on.
Oh, sorry, Roga. No, Visha just wanted to ask, like, what happened? Whispering, Pedrick, how did you lose your eye? You know, basically trying to update on what she literally just saw coming to the end with that one troglodyte left before it disappeared, and Roga on the ground, and Pedrick's eye, and yeah.
Pedrick laughs and says, "An eye? I lost an eye? Where's it at?"
Was it just a scratch then?
It's a flesh wound.
It is a flesh wound.
Then he goes on to explain that the troglodytes had really overwhelmed us, and that he kind of sacrificed himself in a last-ditch effort to get Rogar back on his feet, and in doing so, lost his eye.
Oh my goodness! And what do troglodytes look like? Would Visha know that, GM?
Well,
I mean, the corpses are still here.
There was one left alive.
But were they all like that?
Yeah, they all look. They all look sort of like.
Or...
Yeah, they're all sort of like slimy, stinking, sort of almost a little bit lizard-like, long claws, talons, sort of covered in sort of like goop and mold, and they're disgusting creatures. You know, they have a big sort of like jawed mouths.
And that smell.
Pretty
That's
foul
what
stench.
it was.
Yeah.
It was them.
That's what the smell was. Oh, by the way, when I went off scouting and I thought you were going to catch up with me, I actually found a group of kobolds. Now, I actually made them fall asleep, and then Tack and we went back and slaughtered them. But there were about four normal kobolds roughly, and then one slightly bigger winged one.
We had a visit in the night by a kobold.
What?
Oh, can't be from the one from the group with me and Tack, because we got rid of that one.
Yeah, he told me.
Wow, what did he say?
He told me that his tribe's all dead.
He told you they were gone.
Oh, well,
he
told you they were gone.
They were dead.
He was the last one. But I wouldn't mind having a look, see what's left. We may not needed to kill them.
We may need to be careful, because if anyone notices those kobolds gone, if they were doing a particular task and they were meant to report or something, we may be having scouts looking around to see if there's anything unusual happening, and dead bodies and such. I mean, me and Tack, we try to hide the bodies, of course, but yeah, there could be some people being a bit more wary around this area, so it might be good if we start moving. That's what Vishra says to the group.
I mean, we have a choice.
Take a good look around the area.
I didn't, because I had to freeze when I saw the kobolds, because I was being stealthy. So I had to make them sleep, come back to you, because I realized you weren't here. So where I was, so I decided to come and see if there was any trouble. Obviously, you had some trouble.
Well, we seem to have a choice between us to either go back to where you saw the kobolds and see if there's if this cave goes on any further, or we go down the steps and go through that.
Well, there is a path.
That leather.
Where the kobolds were, there was another path carrying on towards the west. So it looks like we've still got the same choice, basically. Do we go east or do we go west?
I mean, I'm not.
Weird House says maybe if we do the steps last.
Well, I was going to suggest maybe one of our more nimble, quiet folk among us can possibly just nip down the steps. And you both have dark vision, so perhaps one of you could have a look through the just ever so gently, just look past the leather, so that we can possibly ascertain what's the other side. I don't really fancy us just walking straight through the drapes without knowing what's on the other side.
If I and Tack went in opposite directions slightly, or we split up into two parties, and then meet back.
I mean, splitting the party doesn't seem like the best idea.
Okay.
think we
Are you
do.
splitting the party?
I don't think it seems to be the best
Probably
idea.
While they're discussing that in Celestial, Pedrick offers up a little prayer asking for guidance.
You feel a sort of a sense of warning coming your way. Basically, this is a war god. He expects you to be bold. You know, he expects you to be bold and to take steps. He's not there to hold your hand. You know, so you feel sort of a sense of sort of get on with it. Sort of coming from your divine mentor.
Weird Hal wants to flip a coin.
Okay, you flip a coin.
I have to find it. Wait. I got a coin here somewhere.
I mean, you could roll a d6 and then just, or d2.
Okay.
Roll a
Okay,
d2.
It's tails. It came up
Tails.
tails.
Which means what?
Okay.
So what does tails mean?
I don't know. What does tails mean? You know, I don't.
I think tails was the steps.
I think
Tails was the steps.
I think that perhaps we do need to go down those steps, but I don't fancy walking straight through those leather strips. And I think it might be prudent. At least one of us could sneak down there, and I'm not suggesting that I should be the one to do that. But perhaps one of us could sneak down there and just gently peek through the leather strips so that we can at least know what might be on the other side before a party of 5 people, one of which is a 7-foot dragonborn, another one's a cleric in plate mail,
Send the new guy.
or scale mail. Sorry, I mean we could send the new guy.
Send the new
Vistra
guy.
turns to Tack and says, "Well, I'm still wearing the black robes, so I could have a little sneak, and if I am seen, then I can maybe talk my way out of it. But if you've got some ranged weapon to prepare behind me, so if something does notice, we can maybe sort something out. What do you think?"
Well, Tack's kind of been sitting there a little bit by himself, and he goes, Sure, I can stand behind you. And he takes out his little bow. He's like, whatever you want.
All
I'll
right.
give you a signal if I need you to focus it. Just try not to show it right behind me, because if I can talk my way out of it, I don't want someone seeing a bow behind me aiming at them.
So what I'll suggest, so what Rogar's going to suggest, is if our 2 rogues head down the steps to the bottom, if myself and our cleric stands halfway up the steps, and I'm pretty sure Weird Hell will be quite happy to stand at the top of the stairs.
Yeah, Weird Hal climbs up and steps here, and he says, I think this looks close enough to me.
Very well. Rogar's going to climb up, and he's going to step, just 2 steps down, very carefully, just to make sure that he's not going to trip over anything. He's just going to step there.
Fisher turns to Tack and says, "We'll take maybe if we split on the curtain. I take the one side, you take the other, and I can just wave to you to the side a little bit if I need you to shoot that way. You're not behind me showing your bow."
Okay, so Tack has got a ready. Tack is going to move up behind. So I've got he's got his little bow.
Why don't you?
And he's ready in action. If something comes through the thing, he's
Can Rogar say to Tack
If
just
Tack
before
can be
you?
on this side.
okay. Tack can be where?
Sorry, if Tack can be on that side, and I'll wave at him. So in the corner of his eye, he'll see if I need him to open the curtain and shoot. If I can't talk my way out, if I'm seen.
All right. Well, okay, so you're trying to. Is that what you said? All right. So as I said, the curtain is actually several layers. So let me just repeat. For like our
It's very thick.
So basically, it's the curtain extends from the wall to wall, and the leather is made of a variety of different animals. It's very badly cured. The leather is several layers thick. There's no gaps, so you can't really see through it. So what do you want to do?
That case, Vistra sort of nods.
You notice on the you notice. I mean, I think you would notice on the floor that there's sort of like drape marks on the floor where the curtain has been moved before.
Okay, so Vistra will probably move it into that same area, and she is going to go behind. But she sort of looks at everyone, sort of nods and says, basically, I'm going behind, and sort of whispers attack.
So are you trying to open? Are you trying to go through the curtain?
Before I go through, I'm basically just going to go up to attack quickly and say, slight change of plans. I'm going to go behind and see. If I run back, you know that we're going to need to shoot or something.
Okay. So you're going to try and go through. Excellent.
Stealthily.
Weird how we like to prepare an action.
Yeah, same here. So,
All right.
What are you preparing?
What action exactly are we preparing?
If Weird Hal sees anyone come through that curtain, through the curtain specifically, who is not a member of the current adventuring party, Weird Hal is going to fire off a real quick cantrip of just a quick, what is this called again?
Go outside.
Vicious Mockery.
Okay, Vicious Mockery.
Yep. Rogar will also take one step further forward, and he will prepare a melee attack with his warhammer for anybody other than the party that gets within his melee range with nefarious intent. They're going to get a warhammer.
Nefarious intent.
Do you have to prepare an action to use a cantrip?
Yes.
Then I will prepare an action to use a cantrip if someone that is not in the party comes through.
What cantrip are you going to use?
I am going to use... Sorry, I forgot the name. I got to look it up.
Okay.
It is Sacred Flame.
Sacred Flame. All right. So, Vistra, just sort of describe how you're going to sort of pass through the curtain.
So just before, Jim, can I prepare an action as well? For example, could I just have my hand on my short sword, just subtly?
Well, I mean,
that
what
if
you're
I feel
kind
like I'm
of
in danger.
you're kind of actually interact with that curtain and to move it. So you would actually, if you're doing the action, if you want to move it and open it, then that to do it. So you can't.
Okay, that's cool. I wanted to check that. So she does it very casually because she's still in her black robe. She's not going to look like she's skulking, but she's still going to try and be quiet because that's her nature. So she just with both hands, because it's very thick, she just pulls it across, just not enough to show the guys behind her, and then just move forward.
All right, so I need you to take a dexterity check.
Just a standard dexterity or
just take a dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity saving throw?
Yep, just roll dexterity.
There we go. 13.
Okay, so so I mean you push the curtain to the side, and let me just sort that out quickly. I need to go to a different layer to move it. 1 second.
Mm-hmm. Am I allowed to move my character past the behind the curtain now, or do you want me just to keep my token where it is?
Okay, so you move the trying to move it. So there we go. So you sort of move the curtain to the side. Let me just check that I've done that. Can you see a bit into it now?
I can just a little bit as well,
I can see bright here to there, and then everything else here and here is all a bit dimmer, a bit darker.
Okay. Are you actually walking in?
If there's nothing there at the moment, can I just look at where I can see at the moment?
Yeah. Okay. So the minute that you pull back curtain, this smell of old blood assaults your nose. Okay, you can see that the floor is covered from where you are. You can see that the floor is covered with dried puddles of it. Okay, there's dried puddles of blood. There are 4 columns. You can probably see, yeah, with your sight, you can see like 3 or 4 columns. Because you can in the dim light, you can see 2 more. There's 2 that are very apparent, 2 that sort of like the outline that you can see in the dark. And spaced between them, there's a number of chains that have almost been strung between them like clotheslines. Okay. Animal carcasses are hanging from these hooks from the chains. All right. You can see gutted, skinned antelope, deer, goats, what might be some sort of big cat, and you can even think you recognize a small bear carcass. You can tell that you can probably tell. What's your passive perception?
It's now 12. Yes,
I mean, yeah,
it's now 12.
You would definitely be able to recognize, and I think Rogar would be able to smell this as well from where he is. That some of this meat has been here for a while. That's kind of a reliable indicator of the smell. Another thing you notice is that this cavern, the minute you open it, this wave of chilled air just flies out like at you. This cavern seems to be it seems to be natural. It's a very cold cavern. In fact, it almost feels like it's you breathe in, you can see your breath mist. It seems that it's probably just about a few degrees above zero. It's really quite cold in here. You would also roll a history check for me.
Okay.
So just to clarify, would you say it kind of feels unnaturally cold?
4.
Being that cold?
No, I said it feels naturally cold. It doesn't.
Okay.
The chill you get if there were spirits around.
Okay.
This is a natural feature of the cavern.
Okay.
I got a 4.
Yeah, look at the curtain. Obviously, they keep the beer on the far side.
Yeah, I mean it's a wine cellar, obviously.
So Rogar, you can also roll a history check for me.
Oh, okay.
I don't think the others can actually see in. So.
All right.
Wait, how might be able to see a bit.
3.
I can see through the curtain. I can kind of see Vistra and that column, and that's it. I mean, that is it.
Okay, so I'll let you. You can see the column, so you can. I'm assuming Vistra, you sort of turn to the others and you tell them what you see.
I can see this.
After she sees that, yeah, she pops her head back in and she sort of, well, I think we know maybe how the curtain was made, as well as what's it called when you and the meat locker for butchering animals maybe to eat and stuff.
One thing Rogar's gonna whisper to Aya is there anybody in here? Can we come through the curtain too?
Yes, it's empty. I didn't see anyone. It's just
the only thing you can see. Yeah, I mean, you got sort of like battered back a little bit by the meat. It's it's really strong smelling.
With Vistra saying that.
Let me just go ahead just a little bit more inside, just so that I can just tell you where this cavern may lead, and because I can't quite see whether it's just enclosed or whether it carries on. So if you don't mind, I'd like just to pop my head back inside and just move a little bit closer and just see if it carries on. Otherwise, if it's a dead end, we don't have to worry.
Just be careful.
Okay, are you going on your own, or is someone coming with you?
Someone can come with me. Maybe Tack, or someone light. Maybe Pedrick. I don't know.
Tack's standing outside. He's like, no, I'm shoot something if it comes out, but it's.
I mean, it depends.
Pedrick's like, I'll go. I don't have any worries about this.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right. So.
All right.
I'll
So
jump.
I mean, basically, just so I don't have to move it again. Basically, as you move back out, the curtain sort of swings back into place and sort of blocks it back off again. So if you want to go through again, you're gonna have to move through the curtain. Just to let you know.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll do that, and I will stand out here.
All right. I need you to take. And Pedrick, are you going as well?
I am.
All right. Can you both take dex saves for me, please?
Okay. 15.
Okay.
Good roll.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you pass through. You walk in the room. Looking around, you can't see. I mean, Vistra, you can see more than a lot of the other characters, because you're. Let me just. I'm actually just trying to see what Vistra sees. Give me a second.
I can
do that.
see I can see the line go around the room basically.
Yeah.
I
you can
turn to Pedrick and I say to him, there doesn't seem to be any more to this room in regards to further paths. I will move slightly up to the north and just see if there's anything else to see. Feel free to have a look around and enjoy the smell, she says.
Pedrick, are you in the room or are you standing?
I can't really see into the room from the map, so I just moved myself as far forward as I could see.
So this just moves up to the
it's
north.
very different. Okay. All right. So Vistra, again, it seems just to be like a self-chamber. I mean, this is probably why it stays so cold. You can see a bit like there's like condensation on the walls. It seems, or not condensation, but sort of like maybe a few sort of frozen drips and lines of water on the walls. It just seems to be very cold. You know, and maybe that sort of. I think you would be able to tell. You know, this is probably why. This is probably where they keep the meat that they might need. I mean, you.
Vistra just sort of turns to Pedrick and says, "I think this is like cold meat storage. You know, basically a meat larder. There's nothing else in here. I think we're safe to go to the other path now."
Okay. All right. Well,
agrees and says, "Well, let's get back up and let the others know."
Absolutely.
Okay. So you're both going back through the curtain again. Can you please take another dexterity saving, please?
Sure. There we go. 9.
You got a 9, and Patrick got that. Okay, so as you pass through Vistra, you feel something sting your hand. I want you to please. You are going to take. When you sort of turn around to see what happened. I mean, Pedrick walks past. Pedrick, you've already rolled one. You're okay, I believe. You rolled 19.
That was an error. I had double clicked and I couldn't make it go away.
That's okay. That's okay. You sort of turn around and you have a look at. You carefully. I think you would sort of carefully look at the curtain and roll a perception check for me, please.
Fingers crossed this might be a teeny tiny bit better. Now that I've boosted it. 12.
Okay, so you notice that on this curtain, hidden amongst the patches of fur clinging to the leather, there are hundreds of little metal barbs about the size of large fish hook. You look and it seems like the barbs are coated in a sea-like substance. Okay, and as you sort of hold your hand, you start to feel it burn. Okay, you start to feel, and you can feel this burn sort of like sear up your body. Okay, you are going to take 1d10 poison damage. Okay, and I want you to reduce your hit point maximum by 5.
All right, so 27, 26, 25, 24, 25.
So 6 points of damage, and your maximum hit points is now 5, what it would normally be. So basically, what happens when you take a long rest, you will be able to get you'll be able to go to your regular hit points again. But until then, you are still poisoned, and the effect of this poison is kind of weakening your constitution.
Which order
and what do you want me to roll?
No,
okay.
you just need to take the damage off. That's 6 damage.
Oh, and 6.
And remove your hit point maximum down by 5.
And I was able to make it through the curtain, correct?
Yeah, Pedrick, you made it through.
So the max has now changed. My current is still what it actually was after long rest, but I just deduct the 6 damage.
Yes, that's right. So I mean, basically now you can only if someone because your maximum has changed. Just keep your original in brackets so you don't forget it. Okay. Otherwise you'll forget it, and you after taking a long rest, you'll be able to get it back again.
That's exactly what the temporary hit points box is for.
Okay, yeah. So you temporary, but temporary hit points is like extra hit points on top of your regular.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Well, either or, can it?
Like if someone casts Virtue on you, you gain 1d4 hit points. So that's like where you
is
put
there
it.
any way I could use my inspiration to have boosted that? Because I still have inspiration still.
You
I
could have, but
haven't-
you have to tell me when you're doing.
Yeah,
a bit
you
late
would
now.
have to have
Sorry.
done
Okay, no, that's my fault because I completely forgot I still had it. Okay,
Yeah.
it's good to know I still have
You have
it.
to say when you're doing the check, but you can do it afterwards and say I want to boost. It has to be done like at the time.
Yeah. All right.
So the let me just see if I can just do this quickly. The this moves back into place. I'm sorry, it takes me a while. I can't drag it. It's really annoying. I found a way to do all this stuff, but I can't drag it. I have to like move my arrow key. So and that means everything should be blocked off for you again, and you can't see into the room anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So so unfortunately you were poisoned. The trapped curtain managed to get you.
Nasty.
I wonder if there's
Nobody
a way.
looks at the curtain.
I wonder if
No,
there's a way.
didn't.
I think you would notice as well. I think you would. Can you roll a perception check for me, please?
Who's that? Sorry, Rogar.
Yeah, take a perception check for me.
Nope.
5. Yeah, you just looking at Vistra. What happened? What's going on? You know, and she's like, she's got barb. These barbs just stung me. You know.
Yeah. I wonder if there's a way.
Me.
I mean, we know that the curtain there is now poisoned, but I wonder if there's a way we could poison the food supply for the camp.
Does anybody have poison?
Much meat there.
I mean, we
I
know
say
there's still some.
you could poison it, but you probably need to have poison.
Does anybody have any poison?
Not. Well, attack doesn't have any. It's not an assassin.
Wait. I mean, look. You might have. I don't have. I do not have.
Oh
Okay.
well.
I only have acid. That's it.
I could get rid of some of the food, but not poison it. Never mind. It was an idea.
Well, if nothing else, Pedrick says, there's a lot of grime and grit and nasty stuff down at where we fought those troglodytes. You could probably find something down there to rub on that meat and taint it.
No, that's a good idea.
You could chuck the troglodytes in there if you wanted to as well. But I mean, but in order, you could try. I'd have to see if you actually found something that could be used as poison. But you could go and have a look.
This returns to them all and says, I don't really think there's any much point, to be honest. I mean, if we're going to go through, we're going to end up maybe being killed or killing them. So to be fair, poisoning their food may not really be that
No,
much of a
I know, but we know that there's
very dry blood and old and smelly. So I don't know if I didn't remember noticing any fresh meat, only old carcasses.
Pedrick says, you know what might be a better idea is if our two slightly different characters here could rig this curtain fall if it was touched at all.
Oh, there's an idea.
These barbs would definitely poison whoever was trying to get to that meat.
Yeah, that's an idea.
Well, it's very thick and it's very large, and it's also very tightly attached to the ceiling, if I remember correctly. So I didn't really see how we're going to have to be able to quickly turn it around or mess with the curtain itself.
You hear a soft whistling. You sort of see Tack sitting there to himself, holding his knee. What? Come on, guys.
So weird how
I get to use Tack as a means of exasperation. It's fun.
like looking behind himself this whole time. He's just looking back, and he kind of holds up his finger like hold on a second. And Weird Hal is gonna climb down this little 10-foot fall and climb down this other little pen. Right
Okay.
to about here.
Okay.
And Weird Hal is going to roll an investigation.
Yep. You're gonna use it with him. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to do that. I just want to see if I can find anything that reminds me of Talus in any way.
Okay.
Yeah, meat locker.
You look around. I'd like you to roll a check for me. Yes. All right. You look around and you sort of like move amongst basically move up junk. Rolling 1d6. Okay. You're gonna add to it. Okay. Brings you up to 20. Okay. So you look amongst it and you can definitely see that the majority of the stuff just peasants fare. It's probably from maybe prisoners that have been captured before and then maybe died, were fed to whatever the heck is in this hatchery, and there's been and their belongings have been thrown down. You see some old sort of sandals, maybe some torn tunics. Nothing that really seems to indicate that they're the presence of a half elf ranger or half elf scout. Has been there. You don't see any broken bow or a quiver of arrows or anything like that. However, what you do find as you're rummaging through everything is you find another small pouch, and when you open it up and look inside, you find 8 semi-precious gems, and each of these gems you kind of you would realize is these are quite decent quality. They're not these aren't like like sapphires or rubies, but they are maybe a bit of jadeite and a few quite nice sort of nephrite, that sort of thing, and a tiger's eye, and you look at them and you probably estimate each one is worth about 50 gold each. That's a rough estimate from you. And so, please add 400 gold of semi-precious gems to your
I
thing.
take it Vistra didn't see this.
No, Greenhouse around the corner on his own.
Yeah, I
For
thought
himself.
so.
He'll have to do a performance check when he comes up, though, or a deception check if he wants to speak for himself. Or sleight of hand. But yeah, you don't. From what you've seen, you cannot find anything in here that would indicate the presence of Talus.
Okay, so Weird Hal, after kind of speed searching or something, I can't quite describe. He's kind of thoroughly got to look at all this junk, even though it only took a moment. And
it probably took about 10 minutes. I'd say you probably take about 10 minutes.
Hey, 10 minutes is pretty good. Look at that pile.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So Weird Hal feels disappointed that there was no direct clues, but he also feels like kind of a sense of relief because of his past experience with the Abbey having been raided. He knew what was going on with the pile, and he's glad not to have found any of Talus's belongings, at least not anything very obvious. So Weird Hal will just climb back up through this here. I'm going to climb up on this table here first and climb up, and I'm going to walk here, and then I'm going to climb up this one. And I'm like, guys, I just found a bunch of gems. Well, 8 gems. And I am going to roll for deception anyway. It's a confusion tactic.
Okay, go on then. If you want to roll, what are you trying to deceive them with?
I'm trying to fool them into thinking that I found the gems, but really I did found them. That's the trick.
Okay.
Okay, go on then. How did you do? 19. Okay, your weird logic makes sense. The rest of the...
My name's Greg.
So now you guys are having a firm belief that I have found 8 gems. I'm going to say I think we should use these gems to. I think we should use these gems to perhaps enrich the town of Greenest if we ever make our way back there. If we survive this.
Yeah, I mean, you could see if they belong to someone in Greenest. Ask. I mean, they may give them. They may let you keep them. They may not. I mean, it depends. We get back there, someone recognize them as belonging to them.
Vish just slightly rolls her eyes at that idea.
So anyway, I really did find them. By the way, I'm not being sarcastic at all. I really found them.
Okay.
Hey,
All right,
hey, Dirk. So
Rogar's
the enemy
gonna
is
say-
not this way. We need to get moving to find them.
Rogar was.
Okay.
Go back.
Yeah.
All right. So and Tech's like, I like this guy. Let's get going.
Let's get going.
All right, climb up.
And Tech's like, Tech turns to Weird Hal and he goes, Sheriff, that too, right?
No.
Did you say tattoo?
No,
No.
Tech says, I'm gonna get Sheriff that too, right? Looking at the gems that you're sort of holding in the pouch. Rubbing his little hands together.
Rogar answers and says no.
No,
We give them to
We
Greenest.
just voted on that. We just voted on that 1 second ago. What are you talking?
Vish returns.
You just explained
Vish
that.
returns
What?
attack. Vish returns attack and says, "Don't even try with these guys." And she moves up the stairs.
Yeah, don't even try it.
Okay, so Tech is probably sulking a bit of now, so he's not gonna. He is going to at the back of the movement order. If you can please tell me what order you're moving in, the next couple of changes.
Rogar just
Vish
might
returns to
head
the
out front.
others and
I'll be
says,
there. I'll be there.
Do you want me to scout again?"
If you think we need to have a forward scout to look ahead, then yeah.
Well,
Oh,
I
don't forget,
do know
Rogar, you're
that there
very,
is a tunnel there.
well now.
I'm
Rogar,
not-
you are very perceptive as well.
I'm not necessarily perceptive, but I'm definitely alert.
Yeah.
I don't think
I tell you what,
Pedro says they've already been in
You
there.
can
I think
hear
we could,
you can hear a little muttering coming from behind. Not sharing, this isn't right. This isn't right. You find your spoils, you share with others. Completely. I mean, you don't know this, obviously. His own. He's already kept stuff for himself, but he's upset that you're not sharing what you found with him.
Can Vistra hear that? Because if Vistra hears that, she'd sort of like nod and say, "Yeah, I agree, mate."
Yeah. So he's like, man, he's a little kicking his, scuffing up the ground and he kind of got his twitchy fingers sort of seem to be like almost like about to reach for the pouch at Weird Hal's side, then pull back at the last minute. Anyway, so
Vistra's going to move. Vistra's
so
gonna
first
take
of all, you're
point
moving
then.
back into the Bat Cave. So remember, the Bat Cave, as you walk into it, it's basically a large open cavern. To the sort of the top, the top of the cave is matted with bats. Are you moving stealthily like you did last time?
Always.
yeah.
Yeah, unless I say otherwise. Although that's lazy, actually.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I will say. I'm being stealthy.
I need everyone to take a dexterity stealth check for me, please.
Oh boy. Oh boy. So,
15.
Okay, that's 1, 2 passes, 3 passes. Pedrick and Tat, he's going to roll as well. I don't think there's any way he can fail.
No.
No. So basically, he's just a silent shadow. So yeah, Pedrick, you sort of bang something above you, but yeah, it seems like you moved quietly enough that there wasn't anything to worry about. You seem to have moved nice and quietly. Okay, and so you're standing in this chamber, and sort of to the northeast is still that area with the sort of the troglodyte cave. Sort of to the southeast, you have that room with all the meat in it. You're currently standing in the Bat's Cavern, or where the sturges used to live. And
I'm just going to head over here.
okay, so are we all agreed you're moving over there?
Yeah,
It's like,
that's where we're
it's
heading.
on
Yeah.
our own.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we're all
So
kind of
you're all
following
moving
it,
into another chamber.
I think Weird Hal had
Yeah.
a
Sorry.
question.
Sorry. Yes, I know. People are shouting at me. What's going on?
These braziers over here.
They don't. You can't pick them up. They're just there, basically off a dim light.
Thank you.
Sorry, they're sort of attached into the wall, maybe a little bowl with a little bit of herbs, and it's nothing you can pick up.
Very well.
Okay, I need so everybody's sort of moving through into the next chamber. I need to do a few things quickly.
Starts rolling tons of dice.
And I need everybody. Oh, sorry. I need. So that's one. That's Vistra. Pedrick. Then Weird Hal. Okay. Weird Hal. I need you to basically, as you're walking through as your room from one part to another, you're sort of walking slowly. Vistra's in the lead, Pedrick's behind, holding his mace shield. Look, abominations, I shall smash thee. Very, very sort of grumbling to himself, psyching himself up for a possible conflict. Weird Hal, it would be Weird Hal. Weird Hal, as you're walking through the room, suddenly your foot seems to go through part of the floor, and your foot goes right through, and it seems like over this very shallow pit. It's only about 2 feet deep. So your foot, you lurch right in, and it seems like someone had put almost like a parchment thin sheet over this hole and covered it with rock dust. You did. I know. Vistra did do several checks, but always missed every single time she was up there. She didn't see it. And
Where's my glasses of +10 perception when I need it?
And basically, your foot goes through, and you feel something just stab into your foot. There are these spikes. You look in. You can see one of your foot has been impaled on a spike. You're going to take 1d4 poison damage. So please take 4 points of
max damage again.
And can you roll a Constitution check?
Well, I mean,
Weird Hal hates this.
I guess
What this means.
I could do that. Constitution thing you said.
Yeah.
I think I will go ahead and do that. Let's see, Constitution save. Oh boy.
Yes, please.
Come on, natural 20.
Whoa!
Not bad.
Yeah, you manage. You sort of your foot goes down and you scrape this. You scrape again. Your foot gets impaled, but it seems like the majority of it actually has been stopped by or maybe the poison that was applied sort of dried and is no longer as effective. But yeah, your foot gets spiked. But the poison, your body fights off the little bit of poison that's left on these spikes. I mean, I'm saying it's poison. It's probably kobold poo or something like that. Something not nice. But you've already immunized yourself to that from what you were doing outside.
Yeah.
To come in. So, which by the way, you still probably have on your body.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So
it's dried up and most of it's flaked off, but you can still see like the yellowish powder.
Oh, I'm so glad that didn't happen to you. Yeah, you would have been confused after that, which is a pain. And if you're poisoned as well, you're on disadvantage. But no, disadvantage and advantage to hit you. All right, so yeah, you basically your foot stab you. Very sort of very weird how dramatic. Foot stabbed into this thing, yoing forward. Rogar maybe sort of help. You can sort of help him back up. You guys can now avoid this now because it's been triggered. You know where it is. You can, as long as you tell me you're avoiding the trap, you can just walk around.
I'll call to Vistra. Maybe we should check for traps while we're walking along.
Yeah, Richard's already going to say to the GM, can I please roll to see if there's any other traps?
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
What would you like? Perception or
Yeah, just do it.
insight or...
Give me a perception or insight, whichever one you want, whichever's better for you.
They're the same.
Ah.
Okay, you don't see anything.
Really?
Just
I
like,
don't see anything.
you're like,
I think we're fine.
that's it. That's it. That must be the only trap ever in the entire.
Yeah. We're
Alright.
safe now, guys. We can carry on.
Well, I mean, that seems
Okay.
Mission
legit.
move
Right.
forward.
I'm really glad that you didn't get affected by that because I don't have to look it up, and I don't have to. Okay.
Mission moves forward again. Are these stairs?
Rogar will
I
too.
can't remember. Are these
Okay,
like stairs or?
So
rocks
let me quickly describe what you see
Okay.
as you go into the room. So there's a short, wide passage that you've just walked through this quite short, wide passage between these two areas. It seems to be mostly in darkness. Okay, so you can see as far as your torches. There's not much else there. As you sort of walk up towards the edge, you can see that there is another 10-foot drop. Okay, but the area inside is almost is really densely packed with shadow. Almost make an Arcana check for me.
Okay. 9.
Okay, so you can't really tell what's going on there, but you can get the feeling that the darkness that it's probably been placed there for some reason. There is a sorry, I'm hearing someone talking over the manual. Okay, so you also would see you see that there's a set of stairs to the right end of the ledge, and it leads down. So you don't have to just drop down. There's a set of stairs, and there is a almost like a gate or a cage that's made of iron bars, and it surrounds the steps to a height of 10 feet. Okay. Also, can everybody just roll a perception check? Who's got the highest perception instead of rolling?
Probably Pedrick, I think, or maybe.
Well, Pedrick has disadvantage now.
But what's my disadvantage? It may still be the highest because I'm at 14 passive at current.
Yeah, but I do think it does affect. I think it affects you. If I remember correctly, maybe you're wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But let me see. What does that do? Lingering injury. I've got it here. 8. Here we go. You have a disadvantage on all perception checks that rely on. Okay, so not your passive damage, but you do. You are able to sort of pick up key details, but if you want to do a specific search, then you'll take a disadvantage for that. All right, so you can sort of looking around several other things, Pedrick, with your high initiative. Anybody with a passive perception over 12 would see this.
I do. Yeah.
Okay, so sort of around. So you see the cage, and you also see a key that is hanging on a peg at the top of the steps. So it's about. Have I moved Pedrick? Didn't mean to do that. Sorry. You see it's about.
Okay.
Okay. This hangs at the top steps on the southwest wall. Okay. So over sort of towards this side, and I think Vistra would see this, but Pedrick wouldn't because of the light, because he's able to see. And so would Tack as well. And there is well, it depends if you can see in the dark. If you can see a little bit, then maybe if you maybe pick out like the basic outline. There is a rack across the southwest wall, and you can see that there are sort of implements. There's some long poles that seem to be there. Maybe a lasso. There are some collars, some very sharp-looking sticks. There's also sort of against the wall it's almost comical. It's like a weird human-shaped dummy. And no, it's not the one that we used in our Adventurous League. It's not the bedroll that we. A weird sort of human-shaped dummy made out of sailcloth. It's sort of stitched and stuffed with straw, and it has like, this really weird expression on its face, almost like this really sort of, very sort of a distorted area. You can't, looking out sort of into that sort of lower down area, you can't seem to see anything past sort of where even if you were to go down and have a look past these bars, you wouldn't really be able to see anything into there. Well, you can if you want to really scrutinize it, you take a check for me.
Well, Vistra is probably going to move closer because she's too curious for her own good. She is going to move. She's going to take the key and pocket it.
Okay.
So Vistra will take the key. Vistra has key. She kind of gets the sense that this is a nasty animal that's being trained to hurt people. So she's gonna move down about here, and she's gonna light a torch and just drop it down so that it will show.
Okay.
So she'll drop it around maybe here.
Give me a perception check with an advantage.
Okay. So advantage. Perception.
I need to check.
18.
Okay, and I need to check something as well.
Can I say that I have dropped that torch?
Yep, that's fine. You are -1. You drop the torch down. And I need to just check some information. It is... All right. All right. So, as you look into this room, you drop like a fiery torch through the bars. You like sling it through the bars, and I'll say that action is enough to illuminate a large portion of the room. You're able to see, and this is Vistra, and anyone who's I think Pedrick would see this. Tak should be with you. He's all the way back there.
Yeah.
He's now with you, so Tak probably will be able to see it. I think as long as anybody sort of like on the edge would be able to see it in some way. And what you see, very dynamic, Mr. GN. What you see is you see like a large followed.
I'm sorry, I missed you describing what we saw. Sorry.
Yeah, you broke up a bit, honey.
Okay, not a problem. So as you throw this torch into the area, it sort of starts to illuminate the place around you. The lower area before had been really heavily shadowed, but now it seems to be much more clear to all of those who are able to stand. It's basically a large open pit, and you can see there's like sort of like bones and scraps of cloth and maybe like the torn off head of one of these sailcloth dummies sort of lying in a corner and sort of sitting and hissing around, sort of moving sort of around the edge of where your torch is. You can see there are actually three. Let me see. Just do this quickly. There are three of these. Three of the dragon-like sentry animals that you saw earlier. They seem to be a bit small. Yeah, the three sort of guard. These you remember were guard drakes. They're sort of like trained by kobolds and the cultists to sort of protect certain areas. But one thing you would notice is that these drakes seem to be a bit smaller than average. They're a bit smaller than average. They are very maybe a bit more lithe and less bulky. than the animals that you're used to seeing. I think that I think with your understanding of what you've seen so far, you'll probably be able to come to the conclusion that these are probably younger animals, sort of more juvenile, and they hiss around they sort of like come around the torch, hissing and growling at these things, and then they look up, and they look over at you, Vistra, and they clock you straight away. They see you straight away. You basically threw the torch, and they just trapped it back to you. They just look at you and they smile, and they let out this ear-shattering howl. Okay, and this howl echoes through the chamber, and you start to hear the sound of running feet.
Yeah. As soon as I hear the howling, Rogar would like to step here, and he would like to prepare himself for a fight and ready a melee attack with anybody who comes within melee range of him.
Vistra will also move close to Rogar and prepare a.
I don't think he would have. I think Rogar could do that because he's alert and he would be ready for that sort of thing. Vistra, I think you are down there. You've done something. You're shocked. This thing just appeared out of the darkness, and they're sort of hissing and howling at you. And you kind of had an idea something was down there, but the quickness with which they clocked you was giving you a bit of a shock. I mean, you're not gonna be stunned or anything, but you're gonna be in normal initiative order. I won't let you prepare an action because you did do the chucking.
Okay,
and
that's fine.
the standing, okay.
May I move? Can I just move up again, or like run away from them slightly?
No. I think
stay where I am.
you have to stay where you are for the moment. I think.
Just one
just
quick.
so I know.
Can I prepare an action?
Okay. What are you preparing?
Shield of Faith.
Okay.
DM,
Shield of Faith. Yeah.
DM, sorry. Did you put any dynamic lighting down for the torch that Vistra threw? Because it didn't change anything on my map, so I can't actually see anything extra.
I will do that. Okay, I'll do that in 1 second. I
Yep.
just need to.
Just asking whether
rest
you'd
of it,
already
just
done it.
my-
That was all.
Yep. I haven't done it yet. No, I need to do it. Just
Fair
give me 1 second, and I'll do it. Sorry, I need to. I didn't know she was going to do that, so I don't have the torch prepared.
Yeah.
I need to just move these guys into the objects layer, so I can. So these guys are.
Welcome to D&D,
sorry.
folks, where the players throw
So can you tell me what you're doing? I need to know what people are
preparations.
preparing because everybody but Vistra can prepare an action if they want.
So Weird Hal hears this loud screeching noise. He looks up at Pedrick and he says, "Oh my God! Did you guys hear that weird howl?"
Oh.
Weird howl.
dear.
And Weird Hal is going to prepare a vicious mockery cantrip if he sees an enemy within range.
Okay, that can be done. All right, 1, 2. All right, so basically, I'm just going to move these guys up to the top. That will count as their thing. All right, basically, they're going to just sort of come up, and I need to move them properly. Here we go. And sorry, guys, I know it's taking time. I just need to do this, and my thing is slow because of dynamic lighting, so I need to.
Did you guys hear that weird howl?
It almost made Rogar drop his guard. That's yeah.
Okay, so I need to move you back down there. And these guys, I think, would be sort of towards the top of the stairs. Probably get them on some of them on the stairs. You can roll. You can roll in. Just while we're doing this, because I need to sort this out.
Roll
And
initiative.
Then, of course, you will have. Yeah, roll initiative. I mean, you still get your action. You still get prepared action, but I want initiative sorted.
Figure,
I haven't forgotten that. Just need to-
figure,
Everything's really running slowly for me at the moment.
Can I select?
Alright,
I'm not
so-
moving. I just want to try and get my things. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now I can roll.
I'm not crying. It's only raining on my face.
21.
Hey.
Okay. Nice done.
Wow, that's impressive.
And Rogar, are you not? You.
I'm sorry, you broke up just as you said my name again.
I'm doing my best.
That's right.
I said, Rogar, you must be happy last with your +5.
Yeah, it makes a change.
Okay, so I need to just quickly get these guys in initiative order. Bear with me. So, Kobold 1. Exactly right. Not right. Kobold 2. I hate it when there's so many. I wonder if there's a every single time I do this. There must be a way.
We'll look into it before the next session.
If you can select more than one token at a time.
Yeah, I wonder. Let me try that. I'll see if I can. I'll see if I can collect them and do them as a group. Let's try that. So I need to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Let's see if I can do that. If it works, then this will make things much easier for me going forward. I think I only rolled 1 dice, though, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that gives them all the same initiative, doesn't it?
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, I think so. All
Which
right,
is fine. I'm cool with that.
All right.
That is.
If you're all happy with that, but
if they're the same.
No, it doesn't. It only.
Oh, it only did one of them.
It only has 1 on.
Traditionally, we always played if it's the same creature, not distinctive in a way from another one, that they would have this same.
Yes, but then you have all the can be
Attacking and not doing nothing.
when they have the ability which they do pack tactics, that can be really nasty because they all attack with advantage, and that would be really nasty.
But
I wonder if I can pre these up next time.
Yeah, I mean, having said that, just because the all of the enemies have the same initiative number, and they're all attacking at the same time, it doesn't necessarily mean they're all attacking the same person, depending on where they are on the board. So, I mean, you've got that as well.
But that's true. But that is true. But then you. Thing is, if I don't do it all at the same time, then I won't be able to pick out individual kobolds to know which ones go first. Because the thing is, it's like when I pick up one of the kobolds, it then highlights which one hasn't gone yet, you know. But it won't do that if I have to do it as a group.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, so first person to go is Vistra. Vistra. Everybody's got a ready action.
The ready's first.
So basically, you said. So basically, these guys have run up the stairs. That's what they've done. That's their action.
GM, sorry,
yes.
I can't see the kobolds on my map.
Well, you probably can't because you don't sight yet.
Yep.
So this is part of dynamic lighting.
This is dynamic lighting. They're out of they'll be out of range.
Perfect. All right. Cool.
Kobolds can see in the dark though, so they can probably see you.
Yeah.
So it would be Vistra's turn first. Vistra can.
Ready actions first.
Yeah. Well, but if people can't see them, basically you
the
can.
Others can. Rogar's up there.
Yeah.
And so is Pedrick and Howl and Tack. So surely they should be able to see these, can't they?
Nope.
Well, if they can't see them.
Even if I couldn't see them, my ready action has nothing to do with them.
Okay. So Vistra is going to move. She can move 25 feet. So she's going to go where she's going to go there, just behind Rogar, I think. Yeah.
Okay. So she's going to climb up.
No, there. All right. All right. Now she can see.
You actually have to, Vistra. You actually have to run around.
Yeah.
You'll have to go 5, 10,
sorry.
15.
That's such a big drop.
All right. So that would be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So we're at 15. That's 25. Okay. So you'll technically get there then.
Oh, I need to roll tax initiative though. So tax initiative. This is tax. So tax initiative is. Here we go. Just add him onto the list. So he's got a +7. So just in order. All right. So Vistra, yes. And I'm going to throw that torch now. While you're deciding what you torch, because I need to do that. I'll just copy this actually, and I'll go here, and there you go. So that should basically create a little torch there. I'll give it. It's emitting torch light, which is 2020. Which is sorry, 4020. Actually, guys, if you can check that, because I think I've been. See, it should be 20 feet of regular light, 20 feet of dim light, so it should be 4020.
Yeah, that's why I don't have that on my torch, but I don't understand how
so
to
I
change
just put
it.
that up to 40. I've done it already, so you should see further now.
There we go.
And who else has got a torch?
Weird Hal.
Weird Hal, have you got a torch?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
I'll
gonna
just
set
update
my
yours as
purple
well.
aura for 40 so I can see what I can.
Well, technically, do you want Fisher to move back so that the others can do
There
their
you
ready
go.
action?
There we go.
So that they can see.
Is that better?
Yep. There we
Yeah.
go. Now we
do
can
you
see.
do you want Fisher to move back so that they can do their ready action?
If this, I mean, if the others can,
I haven't done anything, so I've only just moved, so I can move back and let them do their actual ready action.
Well, no, you do you. You do you, because I mean, you know that Rogar will pretty much just be ready to fight. So you do you. Do whatever you want to do.
Alright, I just need to check my, I'm just going to click because I need to read it again and it might be, I just want to see if this works. So I'm just going to click on this just to see if it just gives up the text so I can read it in chat. Oh, it's asking me if I want to cast it. Can I just pretend? No. Alright, let me look in the map. Alright. Because I'm thinking about doing my chromatic orb. So I've got
to put the drakes on the initiative order as well.
Should have bookmarked it. Did I bookmark it? Yes, I did. Lovely. Alright. You hurl a 4-inch diameter sphere of energy at a creature that you can see within range, which is 90 feet. It's an instantaneous. You choose acid, cold, or fire, lightning, poison, or thunder, or the type of orb you create, and then make a ranged spell attack against a target. Attack hits, the creature takes 3d8 damage at the type you choose.
Okay. Yes, so you can cast
does this
chromatic
affect
orb.
others? Does that affect anyone
No.
else nearby?
It's a one person target, one character. If you're a sorcerer, you can twin the spell, but you're not, so you don't need to.
Oh, I did not mean to do that. That was an accident.
That's okay. That's all right.
Okay.
But weird how you prepared just mockery, didn't you? That was one
I
thing you
did.
prepared.
What I'm trying to do is post the description in the chat so I can read the range of it.
Yeah.
Ah, okay, no problem then. That's fine. I just needed to. Put...
Vistra is going. That's a spell though, so. Vistra, for the moment, she's just going to shoot an arrow.
Okay.
She is going to target this one, middle one.
Okay.
Yeah, she's going to shoot. So, nothing special, just a short bow.
Oh.
Okay. That's a hit.
18. Lovely.
Guess what?
I got.
You still
I
sneak
shouldn't have
attack on.
sneak. Sorry,
That's okay. I'll just ignore the
seven.
sneak. I'll ignore it and take the sneak. Yep. You run up. You basically you just shake your head and you sort of run up these stairs. You duck behind, sliding behind, in between Brogar and Tack, and you just slide through and you shoot an arrow and it just launches. It launches itself towards this this group of kobold, and you take the first one that runs up in the neck, killing it instantly.
Damn.
Nice.
I don't see any kobolds.
No, they're too far away for our torchlight to see them.
Oh, okay.
Vistra can say
When
that
they
she has
move-
dark vision.
Yeah, you guys can't see it yet. Basically, you can't see what's coming up. You can running your feet, you can hear. You can probably tell that something coming your way, but you can't see them yet.
Okay.
Okay. So anything else, Vistra? You've still got a bonus action, I believe. You've done your movements. You do have a bonus action.
I don't think I've got anything. Can I? I've got nowhere I
You-
can hide.
you can-
I've
you-
moved
you can-
25 feet.
You can hide behind Rogar if you don't move.
Can I use
If he
cunning
doesn't move.
action? And can I use cunning action and like maybe dash to like here or something?
You can only move 20. You
Around
can
the
only
corner?
move to. You can only move 25 feet. But yeah, you could move over there if you want to. You could say, I'm going to use it to dash and double mine, giving you another
Okay.
20. Okay.
Then yeah, I'll do that. I'll go there. I'll go here.
All right.
Alright, so let me just
And
move
that's
myself over there.
and
And that will be
your
me.
turn. Okay. Next one is this guy. He has a range of 30 feet.
Ready action.
What was your ready action? I don't know.
Remember,
It was the shield.
No, please don't talk over each other because I can't hear.
Sorry.
Shield of Faith. If you had, if you had that ready action, I said you could. If you had a ready action, you could do, then you could do it. So you've Shield of Faith yourself. You've got +2 AC for the next 1 minute, I believe. 10 minutes. The next 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
All right, but it's a concentration check. Don't forget. So if you do get knocked over, you take a concentration check.
No problem.
Okay, so +2 AC for the moment for the next 10 minutes. So basically until the end of combat, easily. So basically this kobold is going to very smart are they? I think he would just run forward. 2, 3, 5, 6. Okay, so I think he probably run down towards Vistra because you see for Rogue at the moment. I think he'll probably he's gonna dash. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he'll sort of dash and get to. Okay. Next one is another little cope. This one here, and he's going to go.
So that guy is the guy who just stepped in range.
Okay, so he stepped in range of you. Then you can cast a Vicious Mockery.
He's getting a vicious mockery. That's right. Here it comes.
That's fine. And he's going to run as well.
Okay, there it is. DC 13 Wisdom saving throw
Okay.
against 4 psychic damage.
All right. If he makes this, then I'd be very surprised. Wow.
Oh, Jesus.
He rolled. So he rolled with advantage. Let me try that again. Maybe I've left advantage on his thing. Oh, he gets advantage because there's no reason he gets advantage. He should be on normal. Let me try that again. Wisdom saving throw. So I must have double clicked it by mistake. That is a 14.
That is 2 separate rolls. I don't understand why the 0 stand.
Because I don't. All right, fine. I don't mind. 4 damage. I just made a mistake and I clicked it twice. It's like a cocked dice.
Yeah, no big deal.
All right.
Stand.
All right. Well, I am the DM. I'll decide that. But yes. All right. All right. So yeah, 0. He takes 4 damage. So he basically holds his head. He's head a little bit, sort of like breaks through your psychic power. But definitely you can see that he's taking some. He's looking a bit sort of really and a bit damaged. Actually, you've just done some damage to him, haven't you? So he needs to take a check. If you've done something nasty to him, it's for D20. Let's see if he can pass it. No, so he doesn't pass it. You've just done a massive amount.
Yeah.
And so he's going to roll on the table. Yeah. So basically, he is not going to be able to take any actions until the end of his turn.
Oh.
So he can't do any reaction actions. But he's a bit too disorientated to actually do anything now. The other one is going to go here, and he is going to go and run up to. He's going to run sort of up to here. Yeah, because he wouldn't be able to get next to Vestra. All right. Next person is. I'm sorry. I'm looking. I think he probably run for the one who killed one of his bots. Just sort of makes sense. Kobold, the most dangerous one is the one that just killed the guy with the wings.
Yeah, that one.
All right. I'm going to. Jesus. I don't need to see. I don't even know how many we've got coming in. Yeah, I'm just gonna. Yeah. 5, 10, 15 up to there. And I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm just gonna hit this guy with my warhammer.
Okay. Yep, that's a hit. Which I think can automatically kill him because you get +5. Yep. So yeah, you smash this kobold into the ground. It just maybe you sort of like tear off one of his arms, and he just like falls back with blood spurting everywhere and just collapses to the floor.
Can I just offhand attack this one as well?
Yeah, I mean you can always offhand.
Just swipe at him with the back of my shield or something.
Attack. Isn't it true that you can offhand attack if you're wielding a light finesse weapon only?
If that's the case.
Yeah, I mean the reason I let you hit surges was basically because you were slapping.
Yeah, all right. I won't do it. I'll just at the end of my turn, I'll just call out in Draconic into the darkness. Call off your halt your attacks.
Sorry, you cut out.
I will call out into the darkness in Draconic. To the master kobolds I imagine is coming in. Halt your attack. And that'll be the end of my turn.
Okay, that can be your free action. Let's see how that would be received. No. I mean, we'll see. We'll see in a moment how that might read. But basically, you don't hear it.
No, we'll see what happens.
At this time.
Other than that, that's pretty much all I can do anyway.
Yeah, Pedrick, it's your turn.
Pedrick raises a hand and points it at this guy. Let me get back on the right thing there. This guy right here. I'm not sure if being that he's disabled, he gets a saving throw. I don't know, but he casts Sacred Flame.
Oh no, he will get a saving throw, but he won't. But like he can't. He can't cast shield on himself or something. So
Sacred Flame is a cantrip known, and it's a saving throw versus ranged spell.
Okay, so what have I got to what type?
I'm sorry.
What type of saving throw is it? What's your casting mod?
My casting mod is 4, if it's wisdom based.
Okay. Does it say they have to take a dexterity saving throw?
It says spell ranged spell saving throw.
Oh, so what's your DC for your save? Your spell DC?
Yeah, that's a spell save DC.
I think Sacred Flame is normally they've got dex save or something to jump out of the way.
I'm gonna look one more time. Hold on, just to make sure I wasn't wrong.
That's all right.
Yeah, so it's the target must succeed on a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah, so they must basically jump out of the way. That's what they do if they want. Yeah. So he's got to take a dex saving throw.
Yeah.
That's a 12. What's your spell thing? What's your number?
I'm not exactly sure what you're asking me.
Have a look on your character. You go to where your spells are. I think tells you saving throw is for your spell. Because you would use wisdom. I think that's 8 plus your wisdom modifier plus your proficiency.
Yeah, my wisdom modifier is 4.
Okay, so that would be 12 plus your proficiency 14. So he'd have to be to jump out of the way of that. So yeah, he gets hit.
All right, so let me do this the right way. Second here. Click this.
Yep. So 7 radiant damage. So this you chant to your god, and this flame engulfs your mace and just flies out and just spears right through this creature, just turning it into ash. Okay, that was your action. Do you have any bonus action or movement?
I only get a bonus action if I choose to use it, and only if I attack. I think it's a melee attack that triggers my bonus action, so no.
Okay, so you don't have any actions you can use time. It has to be melee. All right, that's fine. So that's. Are you going to move, or are you going to stay where you are, or?
Gonna stay right where I am.
Okay, cool. Next one to go is the kobold here. He's going to go. He's going to run. Yeah, he'd be running. Actually, he can run 60. Maybe. He'd sort of run here, I think. Let's move him. And he just seems to be dashing. He's gonna sort of, this little kobold dashing out of the darkness.
He's a very handsome kobold. He's quite dashing.
And this one here is going to.
He has quite a weird house.
He's going to run. He's going to get to here. So he's going to move, and you hear like some snarling behind, sort of a hissing from the. He's going to move here. Next person to go. Wow, we got lots of kobolds going. A lot of kobold move. So probably there, and probably one here, and he'll probably try and attack. So that will be a so Kobold's going to try and attack with his little. He doesn't have pack. He doesn't get his pack rule because the the ally has to be within 5 feet, and the other one's behind him. So no. So it's just regular dagger on attack, which I believe is a 17, and with Tack's abilities, he has arm class 14, so he will take some damage. So he'll take 3 piercing damage. So this little kobold comes flying out of the darkness and stabs Tack in the side. So he sort of lurches back. It doesn't seem like the blow has gone in particularly deep, though. Let me just check. Tack is still level 3 at the moment. I need to upgrade his stuff. We didn't change him, so he's still got 24, and he lost 3. So I'll say we'll do Tack's upgrade after this game. Yeah. I'll do him after this one. Then next person to go is going to this kobold here. So he's going to run in. I think he'll run at Rogar. Kind of makes sense. Actually, no, sorry, that kobold couldn't have attacked Tack. Let me just remove the damage from Tack.
Oh, because he dashed.
Sorry, I have to retro the attack on. So yeah, he probably sort of here. Don't want to conk. That really just sets Rogar up, doesn't it? And then after that, we have this kobold here. So he's going to. And Weird How, it's your turn.
It's my turn? Okay, great. This is the first time I'm finally going to get to use this. When I read this on my character sheet, I forgot all about it. But this is the coolest, okay?
Okay.
Vicious Mockery can hit up to 2 creatures within 5 feet of each other at a range of up to 60 feet. So I'm going to
Right.
target these 2 fellas,
All right.
and I'm going to point to the one on the left. Weird Hal's going to point to the one on the left and then look to the one on the right and say, looks like your girlfriend could use a shave.
I love it. I think that's the best one yet, actually.
1 psychic damage. Okay. I will see if they manage to do it. I don't think kobolds are particularly wise, so this might probably going to do some damage to them. So the first kobold and the second kobold. Okay, so yeah, -1. Yeah, so both of them hold their hand as you sort of like tell them, your girlfriend needs a shave. Like looking at each other and little tears in their eyes. But yeah. Unfortunately, though, not enough to like do critical damage on them. 1 more point of damage, and you can critically damage, but not quite yet.
Okay, so Weird Hal's no dummy. He sees a lot of things coming. He's gonna step away a bit. I think I'm gonna use maybe my movement, just sort of move a little further away. I want to avoid that little trap in between the mushrooms, and actually, I'm stepping just past it.
Okay, thank you for telling me you were avoiding the hole. That's definitely
well, I told you
good.
Weird Hal is learning things as he goes along.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right. I'm going to say okay. Next. Now Tack is in combat, so he's going to do a little attack with this ray. He does have an ally. No, his ally's not within 5 foot of the enemy behind him. So he's going to just do his regular attack against the kobold directly in front of him. So Tack, you see him like whip out this little sort of and like charge forward and try and stab this guy. Maybe, yeah.
You sounded like Clamps.
The clamps. Okay, that's a hit. That's definitely a hit. Oh, I got ignore the sneak. Okay, and he shish kebabs the guy. So this little guy's holding his head from what Weird Hal's just done, and he looks up and just sees this little and just stab him through the gut, and the guy falls over. Oh, my girlfriend's beard is beautiful. You know, just falls over. I think Tack would also move back, avoiding the trap, since he's more of a shooter than he is a close combat. So he uses regular move to move back, and he's not hiding behind anything. There's nothing to hide behind. So yeah, that will be his turn. Next one is the Drake. He's going to go here. I think the Drake will probably try and scramble at work, but let's see. If he gets a natural 20, then he manages to climb up. Otherwise, no. Give him an athletics check. If he goes over 20, strength. No. Athletics, that wouldn't work. He doesn't have the skill for that. I'll just roll a 20, and he doesn't have a good dex, so nothing for that. So I'll just roll 20. And if he gets to 20, then he scrambles up. But that's the only reason he would be able to do that. Nah. You hear this like trying to like scrabble at the rock, but really there's nothing can climb up that unless that these are quite hefty animals. They're not going to they don't have hands or anything to climb up solid rock. So yeah, he has no chance at that. The next one is the last winged chap, and these guys can fly. Cavern's about 10 feet up, so they probably wouldn't be able to fly very well. But let's see. I'll see if they can take a hop over any gaps or anything if they need to. He can move 60 feet. Okay, he's gonna fly probably fly here. Okay, so this guy's going to basically, he's going to pick up a large rock from the ground, and he's basically going to fly over your head, Pedrick, and try and drop the rock on you. Okay, wait.
Okay.
So, something they can do. So he's going to try and do that. I mean, he's because I can't put him on top of you without block. He's not there. He's on the same space, just above you. Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay, and so he's going to drop a rock on you. He only gets one. He can't go back down and get another rock, but he only gets the one. So he's going to drop this directly on you. That's a 16. Does that hit?
It does not.
It does not. So he drops this large rock, and you just put up your shield and just bat it away. Get down here, you! This kobold is above you, trying to do that. Okay. The last one. So the last kobold is going to sort of move a bit more cautiously, sort of get out towards here, and he's gonna shoot. Might not actually, but he wouldn't go that far because he was right back there, wasn't he? So he would go about here. He's gonna shoot a sling at you, Rogue.
Yep.
Because he can see you and you're there, so he's gonna shoot a sling at you. 22?
Yeah, the little shit hit me.
You're like, everybody's been avoiding. No one's coming to fight, and this little rock just flies out of nowhere.
You little.
For 5 damage.
Wow, that was a good
5 bludgeoning damage. So yeah, that was a good shot. So smack! This rock comes out of nowhere. Comes out, and you see like just the outline of this guy who's on the edge of sort of the light, the bright light. Smack right into the side of your head. That's Tim, and the last one is this guy here, and he's going to try the same. Try and scramble up because he's probably down there going, trying to get up, but unless he finds a crack or something in the rock, he's not going to be able to get himself up. Let's roll a natural 20. No, he stays down there as well. So that's now it is Vistra's turn.
Vistra is going to. She is going to stay where she is, and she is going to shoot at this one.
Okay.
Short. 19.
That's a hit. He's
9 piercing.
yeah. This is the same guy who Weird hit, and he's just sitting there going, ah! And suddenly this arrow just comes out, goes right through one earlobe and out the other, and just stands there for a second. What? And just falls down. I know that doesn't really happen. Basically, it just lodges inside of his head, and he just like collapses to the ground. I just like the idea that we go right through one hole and out the other. Any other actions?
Vistra is going to move. Yeah, she's gonna move. She's gonna move about, it's about 10 foot. 5, 10. She's gonna move there. And that's her action.
All right, no problem. Next person is
Yeah, I'm gonna glower at this little thing down here, and I'm just gonna slowly just walk up to it, not breaking eye contact all the way across, and just swing at it.
Yeah, that's a hit. Which automatically kills him because always roll +5 to everything. So that's how it works from now on. If Rogar hits, you don't need to roll. Just tell me how he dies. Okay.
Yeah. 4.
So how does he die then?
Oh, I'm just walking up to him. I've got the warhammer on my shoulder as I walk over to him, just making eye contact the entire way, and then once I get close enough, just quite lazily just swing it like a golf club.
Tonk, he flies into the air and his head is just lodged into the rock. A stalactite is on there, and he literally just gets skewered on this stalactite, and his body's just hanging. There, half impaled, slowly slides off and to the floor.
And then I will use the rest of my movement to just walk to there.
Okay. Pedrick. Now you can't actually you can attack the guy who's flying above you. The ceilings are only about 10 feet high. Okay, sorry. Well, I'd say no, not about 10 feet, about 15 feet high. But I'll say push up and try and smack him. Okay, if you want to.
I actually have a little bit more of a surprise for the guy above me as I point up at him and cast Guiding Bolt.
Oh.
That's it.
So
That's it. That's it, Pedrick. Burn those spell slots.
Yeah. This is the warm-up.
On a kobold. Love it. Literally, it's just like, he tried to drop a rock on me, die. And just like, it's almost like Vegeta from Big Bang Theory, from like Big Bang Attack, from anime. It's just like, and this big just smashing light comes out. When the light dies down, this kobold is
a shadow on the ceiling.
Yeah, there's just a silhouette like imprinted into the ceiling of a kobold like this.
It's clear to say that this dungeon has made Pedrick angry.
Okay. Mark off. Did you cast it level 1 or level 2?
Level 1.
All right. So cast mark off a level 1 spell slot.
Already done. I've actually marked off one for Shield of Faith as well.
Okay. So you can move up now. If you want to move, you can move into combat with someone else. You have the range to do that.
I will move to here.
And any bonus actions?
No.
Okay. Next person is this guy and he's going to roll a strength attack to see whether he can break down the gate.
Oh, that's what that is.
Oh, okay. So basically, you start to hear the sound of tearing metal. I can't believe you rolled that. So basically, he gets this sound of tearing metal, and basically, there is, as you remember, there was this cage around it,
Yep.
and this thing basically pulls off one of the bars with its mouth, just yanks it off. Normally they wouldn't act this way with the kobolds and stuff because the kobolds feed them and they wouldn't like act that way around them. But they've been trained to go after sort of human-like shapes, and they can see Pedrick. They've seen Pedrick like sort of where he was before. They've seen Weird Hal hanging around. You guys are humans. They know that you're their target, and so he rips a thing off the wall. Even when he's going to move out, he still has that was his action because he's done the check to see whether he could open the door with his strength, and he's going to move up to
before he moves. I have a cantrip which I think I don't need an action for, and it's mending, and I'd like to refix that if that was possible. Let me just go to my spells.
Does it say as a react?
Oh, it says 1 minute range touch. Oh no, okay, my fault.
You'd need to be down there and touch the fence.
That's a pity. All right, never mind.
All right, so that is.
It takes you a minute to cast it anyway, so it's 10 rounds.
So he's going to move out. He charges it out to attack. He can't do anything else though. That was his action. That was his move. He has no bonus attacks. So the next one is little kobold here. Literally, I said to myself that would open.
Yeah, it's fine.
And yeah, they managed to do that. So he's going. I think he would attack. He would attack you, Rogar. I think.
Yep.
He's going to attack you. He has advantage. Has a packmate within 5 feet of an enemy.
Yep.
Actually, no. He would attack Pedrick because he is next to the other guy. So they would team up. I think.
All right.
So they're going to attack. They're both going to attack Pedrick. They have advantage because they have their special rule, which is pack tactics. They can attack as long as you're within 5 inches of the creature, 5 feet of the creature. So I'm just going to do them together because they're literally creature next to each other. So 1 dagger attack and the other dagger attack. What happened there? So basically nothing. They both like trying to get through this golden shield that Pedrick has in front. Abominations. You know, they just can't get through this holy shield that you've cast in front of yourself. That's both of their turns, and so that's Weird Hal next time. We know what Weird Hal's gonna.
We do.
I think. Well, I don't know. You always yell an insult at someone before you kill them anyway, even if it's a stab or a shout or a magic weapon or a magic
I
item.
do that. That's for sure. Weird Hal does do that. So I think. Let me see here. Let me just grab the ruler for a moment. Okay.
Don't forget you would have to avoid going 5 feet of the animal. You can't get within its attack.
Yeah, I actually wasn't thinking of moving.
You're casting a spell. Okay.
Yeah, I was testing my range out there.
It's 60 feet, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 60 feet for my obnoxious, annoying insult.
Go on then.
That's
Let's see if their little heads explode.
I'm gonna say, hey, you two look like twins. Conjoined twins.
They're like, conjoined. I don't know what conjoined is.
They know what it means.
Okay, so they both have to take a wisdom saving throw. So, 1, 2. Oh, sorry, no, ignore it. Just take the left. I forgot they were on advantage still. So, it is the left, so it's a 6 and a 1. So they both take 4 damage.
Wow.
So yeah, and the end, and they both of these is, and this is this is not going to kill damage. So I'm going to have to roll and see if anything happens to them again. Constitution saving throw for each of these guys. See whether they basically just collapse, their little hearts giving out. So first guy and the second guy. The first one does have to take a check. The other one just manages to shrug it off. So this guy is of a weaker constitution than his person over, the person next to him, and he's going to have to roll on the table. 1 to 10. And what did he get? He got a 10. Oh yeah, so he can't make actions. That's the best roll he can get on the table. So he can't make any reactions to him. But I don't think they have any reactions anyway, besides the basic ones in the book.
Okay, so now I would like to move. I would like to jump over this little pothole with the spike in it.
That's fine. Good. Okay.
I'm going to get into a flanking position with Vistra around this drake because I'm
Vistra. Yeah. Okay.
Of being afraid of these drakes.
Okay. Nice. All right. Next person to go is going to be Tack. I think Tack would like what you're doing, and he's going to shoot at the drake with his little bow, and he gets to do a sneak attack because you guys are within 5 feet of it. So he's going to do his little attack on them. Tack is going to sneak attack with his short bow, and that is short bow. So he hits.
Nice.
And he's going to do 16 damage to this thing. So Tack. So just as you sort of run up to flank, it's like, I like your style of thinking. and shoots like an arrow, which flies through the air, smacks into the side of this, into the side of this drake, pierces through some of its scales. You see bits of scale flying off as you run past. You sort of swerve to avoid this spurt of blood which comes out of its side, and you can see this thing sort of sag down. It's taken a lot of. It seems to have taken quite a lot of damage. I mean, these are younger animals than the ones you've normally seen. Probably not quite as. And so it's definitely taken quite a lot of damage. Not enough to have to see whether it dies outright, but definitely a good chunk of damage.
Pokeball Go.
Yeah, you capture it. You have a guard drake now as a pet. No, I'm joking. You can only bring it out to fight other guard drakes. Okay, so Tak's done his shot. Very well done as well. And they probably would sort of move around and away to get into a better because Tax probably knows that what's going to happen next is those drakes that were down there are now going to move towards the entrance on their way out. So they move there, and then they get to move 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one's going to move and get. But he's dashing.
Mm-hmm.
He's just going to dash up and get behind you. Weird how.
Oh.
And the other one is going. He's going to run 5 plus 5. Sorry, I need to move that from him.
Really?
He's going to move 45 to get there, and 15 feet will get him to there.
See, even when I think about what I'm doing and try to have a plan, it just doesn't.
He's there. Okay.
It's going to work, my friend.
But that's all they can do. They can't do anything else. That's it. Because they've dashed, they've used their action. That's it.
Okay.
Vistra, it is your turn now.
All right. I am going to my bonus action. I could use a dagger. Yeah, Vistra is going to use her puppet spell on this drake and try and make it attack that drake.
You can't make an attack with the puppet spell. You can make it somewhere direct. Like you could target this one and make him just walk back down and get out and leave for a little bit. You can't. I believe
You can't
puppets.
do attack.
You can't make it attack. Unfortunately, you can only just make it. Ooh, you should go over there.
You could make him walk out of engagement and get an attack opportunity.
That is true.
How would I do that? I would.
You take one.
I just make him move.
Engaged and make him move away, and as he moves away and turns his tail, the person standing next to him will get an opportunity.
Okay, then I will do it with. I will do it. Yeah, I will do it with this one.
Okay.
And
you have to cast the spell first.
Yeah, I know. I'm just
spell.
wondering where I want it to move to first before I actually cast it. And I will move it to there. Just move it one.
So you're
Oh,
going to do the puppet spell?
Could I make it fall down the cliff? Would it get hurt if I made it fall down the cliff?
You can't. If you're doing something like the puppet, I don't. Something you would normally do. So I think, but I don't think you actually. Let's have a look. Puppet spell is an enchantment spell. Can you use puppet? I'm trying to find it.
Puppet. It's puppet.
Oh, it's from Unearthed Arcana. Yes, find it.
Oh, yeah, it's not in the player's handbook. Yeah.
One action. One
Yeah.
action, 120 feet. You can gesture forth as one humanoid you can see within. Oh, okay. So
It's
it's
not
not
humanoid.
humanoid, is it? They're like.
It's not a humanoid. Yeah, this. Sorry, it won't work. It has to work on something. Because
but
basically you're
if
making it walk, so you have to make it walk the way you.
But in future, if it was a humanoid thing that I was doing, it would
You could
have
do it
to
on a
make a
kobold.
concentration. No, I'm just letting you know what it says. If I did target it at a humanoid type thing, it would need to do a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, the target must move up to its speed in the direction you choose. In addition, you can cause the target to drop whatever it is holding. So, okay, that's the only two things I can do with that. All right, so I'm not going to do that then. I will then just do my 2 attack actions. I will do my short sword and then my dagger then with the one that's between me and Hal. So that
Well,
should
you
have
get sneak, you get advantage attack. Yeah.
Okay, so advantage. Come on, sorry, there you go. Advantage, sneak attack. So here comes the short sword for my main action. 11.
Let me check and see what its armor is. I can't remember. No, it just bounces off.
Okay, and then I will then use my dagger. Do I untick sneak attack and untick
Yes.
advantage?
Yeah, because you said you want to use that, and you still have a.
Okay,
You just don't
so
have
then
your,
my
you don't
dagger.
get you just don't get the extra bonus to your damage to your dagger. So that is a hit with the dagger. So just roll a basic D4.
4.
4 damage.
Nice.
Okay, yes. So yeah, you try and hit it with your sword, and you can't get through. But as it like raises its mouth to hit it, you just sort of like slash along the side of its mouth, and you can just see just like rip part of the side of its jaw with your dagger.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is
That's my turn.
okay. All right. That's your turn, and I mean, if you want to engage out of combat, you can do like a cunning action. You could jump out of combat if you wanted to. Because that's a bonus action for you.
I was going to say I can't use cunning action, can I? Because
You can,
that's... Really? Even if I've used the action and the bonus action, I can use.
Oh no, you can't use the bonus action. Yeah, you went.
Because I use it for my dagger.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry,
so,
my brain is not in it. My brain's not. So yeah, you did your attack. Stay where you are.
Yeah.
You can move.
Yeah.
You could try and move out of combat, but it will get an attack opportunity against you.
I don't want it to get an attack of opportunity. I'll stay where I am.
Okay. Rogar, you're next.
Excellent. All right, so let me just double check my measurements here.
Guys, we're going to play for another 5 minutes, and then we're going to just to let you know. I'm going to be stopping us in 5 minutes, so we'll see how we can get with this next round.
All right, so
We'll
Rogar,
finish this round. We'll finish this round, and then we'll stop.
Rogar's going to walk along here. He's going to say, "Oh, pardon me, coming through."
You're taking your action to disengage.
Nope. So I'm going to move up there. So
Kobold gets an attack of opportunity.
yep, and so does that
So
Drake as I walk past.
Oh no! He took damage.
Oh, yeah, he
can't
can't
use his reaction, and a reaction and a attack of opportunity counts as reaction, so
Yep.
he can't do it.
But this one can, as I walked past and went around Hal.
Yeah, you walked through.
Yep.
I don't believe you can just walk through Weird
You
Hal.
can't because
you're not
he's
small.
alive. He's not prone.
Yeah, you can't just walk through Weird Hal's space.
Can I? I thought you can walk through your own allies. You can.
You can walk through allies, just
Yeah.
not enemies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can pass through an ally square.
Then why is it that you have scramble through because they're nimble? Is that enemy spaces they can walk
That's
through
the
now?
enemy spaces. Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right. Well, I have to check. I don't know about pushing through someone in combat, but I'll check. Basically, if you push through that though, opportunity against you because you walk through their attack space.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one will
both
be able to
got
swing at me. Yeah, I knew that. I knew that was going to happen.
Well, this one will be able to swing at you as well because you basically walk through.
I'm still in combat with it.
But he's still engaged with it.
That's why I took that route. I'm still engaged with that. I got into
All right.
engaged with it.
Can you? Okay. Sorry. Can you tell me that's what you're doing? Well, at the moment, so
That's all right, honey.
I'm
It's been a long day
a
for
bit
all of
knackered.
us.
Yep.
So I'm not as bad as poor Miniacs though, but my brain is not connecting any dots.
It's fine.
So all right, so one of them gets an attack of opportunity, and the other one you're staying in combat.
Yep.
Staying within its combat range.
We
Yep.
can
Okay.
do it. We can kill them all. 5
Okay,
minutes, guys.
so
We can do it.
one guy's going to do it. So that is this one will get to attack you 3 times because that's his basic attack.
Yep.
Well, sorry, twice. It gets attacked twice. Once with its tail and once bite.
Yep.
So that's 22.
That's a hit.
And
That's a hit.
23.
Wow.
So both hit you, and the tail does 5 damage. And they're the same attack anyway. It doesn't make a difference. And so 14 damage.
Nasty sucker.
Yeah, they're smaller than regular drakes. They're still quite powerful animals.
Yeah.
All right, so that's 14. That is 14 damage. On you.
Yep. And right, okay. So what I'm going to do first is on this one here. I am going to take a goading attack.
Okay. What does that do? Readers, what does
Right, okie dokie. So it takes a save. What save is it? I think it's a wisdom save. Hang on. Goading attack. I'll just read it out. When you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can expend 1 superiority die to attempt to goad the target into attacking you. You add the superiority die to the attack's damage roll, and the target must take a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the target has disadvantage on all attack rolls against targets other than you until the end of your next turn.
Okay, so you still get to add your d8 when you do damage, I think. So,
Yeah.
But it was advantage. 19. So I think it passes.
It would pass that, yeah. So it doesn't get the. So it
Yeah,
can
it looks at you. It's a dumb animal. It looks at you. It's like,
Yep.
you basically smacked it. You hit it though. That is a hit.
Yep. So I should be able to then just go 1d8 plus 5. There we are. So that's 8 plus 3.
Nice. So that is 11 damage. Very nice. Okay. So yeah, you wind up and you smack this thing and wind up. Come on. Going into an attack. It doesn't seem to take your attack like as an invitation. But it does. You do smack it hard, like towards the side of the head with your hammer, and it just like, boom, and its head is ringing, looking up at you, looking around at you. It probably will attack you anyway because you've hit it.
That's fine. What I'm going to do is, let me just see which rules. If you limit damage as a bonus action, so with an action surge, that gives me a action and
Gives
a
you
bonus.
another action. And it just gives you another action.
It says you can take 1 additional action on top of your regular action and a possible. Oh yeah, it gives me an extra action. Right. Okay. So as my bonus action, I am going to second wind.
Okay.
And I am going to give myself a D10 of health.
Nice.
Which is
Wow,
nice.
good.
That would do. And
That was a
then
good roll, man.
I will take my action surge. And
I think there's an action surge count as a bonus.
doesn't say that I have to take it as a bonus action. It just says starting at my second level, I can push myself beyond my normal limits. On my turn, I can take 1 additional action on top of my regular action and possible bonus action.
All right, but then you have to have a short rest before you can do it again.
So my so I'm going to use my action surge. I've taken my second wind, and I will do a straight up. Can't really do anything. So yeah, I'm just going to do a straight up smack against this one up here.
Okay. Critical hit.
Natural 20.
Nice.
Oh,
Oh no.
13 points
the
of
second
damage.
dice not good. Okay.
Doesn't quite do it, but there we go. That'll do.
Yeah, again, this is a powerful blow. You sort of spin around, you feel your muscles rippling and spin. Your skin almost like seems to glint like fire as the wounds that were damaging you before, like the tear in your side from the bite and the lash from the tail, just seal themselves up with almost like a hiss of flame. Okay, and you spin, and your muscles like expanding, you're bulging, sort of like around you, so like your forearms are rippling with their scales, and you just spin and you smack this other one over the head. It's just you can see teeth flying off, saliva, so maybe a bit of sort of a bit of like a whole sheet of the scales just get ripped off its skin. it's taken. This again seems to have done a reasonable amount of damage. It doesn't seem to be dead yet, but it is definitely wounded.
I dig it.
Next person to go is after that very interesting round, Hedrick. So we're just going to go until Vistra's turn again, and then we're going to stop. Okay. So we've done the whole round.
Hedrick will attack with his mace.
Okay.
On this one right here using guided strike.
Okay. Okay. So that's a 50 as a hit.
All right.
That is, yep. You feel the hand of your god upon, thrusting you forward. Go, and you launch yourself and just smash this kobold into the ground. I keep saying smashed into the ground. I know I'm repeating myself a lot at the moment. I have some stock phrases in my head, and that's what I'm using at the moment. you launch this guy. You launch this guy. He's that's the one you said, right? The one up the top.
Yep.
Right, and then as a bonus action, I will turn and strike at the other one in front of me.
Okay, you have the ability to do that.
Four times a day.
Oh yeah, that's
All right,
the.
so you're gonna. So what's that? What is that ability?
Oh,
divinity.
It's a war priest ability from first level, inspiration and battle. When engaged in an action, you make one weapon attack as a bonus action. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier, minimum of once.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I'm gonna. I think that's fine. Go on then. Bonus action. Smack it.
So in other words, I can do a second attack 4 times a day.
Okay, that's a hit. Okay, so that's 4 damage, and I believe that was that's gonna paste this.
That'll end it.
This is the one who was damaged with the reaction. He'd already taken some damage, and yeah, he's gone. He's gone. He just you rip his head from his shoulders and swing. He is. Is that everything you can do?
That's it.
Okay, cool. Well, then the next one to go is this Gardrick here, who's in front of Vistra. Last person he struck at was Rogar, so he's sort of be, I think, turned towards Weird Hal. So Weird Hal, prepare to be attacked.
I'm prepared.
So that he gets 2 attacks at you. He's going to attack you with his bite, which is an 18.
That's a hit.
And that's 11 piercing damage.
Okay.
Ouch. And
That's nothing.
the other one, the tail, is an 11. I think that misses you.
That's a miss.
So yeah, he launches out and he just bites you, but then you realize, and you just sort of yank yourself down and duck under this tail, sort of swings around at you. All right, that is that one's turn. Weird Hal, chance to fight back.
Yeah, Weird Hal is going to use his action to disengage.
Okay.
I'm going to run and hide behind the cleric. And then Weird Hal is going to use his bonus action to do a healing word on himself.
Okay.
So he will raise his Sunfire Dagger above his head. Excelsior!
Okay, 5 healing. 5 points of that. 5 points of healing left. Nice done.
That on him, and then I spell slot. And that will be the end of my turn.
Okay. So you Excelsior, and it'll sort of feel some of your wounds from the bite just turn into like sort of little scars instead. Then it is Tack's turn. Tack's turn to attack. He will do it. He will do his sneak attack on the one engaging Vistra. He's like, just hold it a bit longer while he gets his bow out. He's like, just keep it occupied. He's going to take a shot with his short bow, and he's going to sneak attack it.
Come on, kill it.
14 hits. It does hit.
Wow.
So it's going. So he shoots with his short bow, and he does pretty nice. He does 11 points of damage. Okay, this arrow streaks out. Vistra, you hear, just keep it occupied, and you hear this arrow. This comes here. It finds a weak point where Brogar had done this smash on it. Sorry, no, Brogar, did you smash this one?
No, that one I
you didn't smash this one. This is the one. This is the one that I think Tack did damage before.
Yes, he'd already done it, yeah.
It's a pretty nasty damage to this thing, and so this arrow flies out. It basically pierces. It seems to pierce some vital organ. It hits sort of the side of the throat, and you can see large amounts of blood starting to come out. This thing stumbles. It's almost like on the floor. It's looking up in its eyes, Vistra, but it's still alive, barely, but it is still alive. And the last thing that can be done, unfortunately, Brogar, you're going to be taking a few hits here.
Yep, bring it.
So, the first one's going to attack you with his bite attack. Go! Bite attack! For 18. I don't think that hits.
Riposte.
They're going to riposte. Okay, go on then.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So is that a hit?
Yeah. Well, that's a 17 to hit.
Yep, that's a hit. Yep, that's a hit.
And then, oh Christ, 1d8. Oh Christ, I keep forgetting I haven't done this properly. So I need 2d8 plus 5 damage. So I'll plus 5 to this.
Okay.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 damage.
12 damage, and this one has already taken how much damage you did that attack on him before. So you did 11 damage to him before, and he's taken another 12, so he's taken 23 damage. Okay, so yeah, he goes to attack you with his bite. You just contemptuously smack its snout aside and just launch another attack with your hammer. Again, this seems to be quite a devastating blow. You can see like large amounts of scales have been sloughed off from your attack. You can see you could probably heard something crack inside this creature. It's still on its feet, but it definitely looks worse for wear now. It seems to be really in a lot of pain. Its hisses are now becoming sort of garbled, sort of blood in its throat. Okay, it will get to attack you again though.
Yep,
It does have its tail attack on you. Okay, well obviously you did a lot of damage.
Yeah.
This thing tried to hit you and it just couldn't.
Yeah.
Seriously, you just duck out of the way easily. Last one is Final Drake with the 1 abilities. Actually, I apologize. The one that took the damage, the damage you did, that 12 damage would actually be the one in front of you. And I believe you did quite a lot of damage to that one, didn't you? You did 13 damage with one blow.
Yeah.
So 13 damage plus 12 damage to 25 damage. Okay, same description, slightly more blood.
Right.
Okay, you hit it. The one next to you is actually the one to your side, but that's the one that has already taken 11 points of damage. So he gets to bite at you.
Yep, that is.
That's a 24.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he lashes out with a friend, 8 points of damage, and then he's going to hit with his tail out at you with a 15.
I missed.
So that's not going to hit. Yeah, so you take the bite, but then as it draconic and just rip it back.
Yep.
Okay, we've only got we've got 3 guys left in combat. So as you rip this tail back and throw it back, you get a chance to just look around. You can see that a lot of these animals are a little bit damaged or a lot damaged. You probably have this quite in the bag, but just as you do that, sort of you see Vistra preparing to unsheath her sword and dagger to launch herself at this final guy, at this final thing in front of her, this final guard drink in front of her, and just as she whips forward, time seems to. That's what we're gonna.
To be
That
continued.
was a great session. Great session, guys.
Really
That
is.
was awesome.
Okay, so we're still in combat. I'm sorry. But we're managing. You know, you weren't actually supposed to fight these animals. They're supposed to stay down there the whole time, unless you jump.
Mishra does not apologise.
Unless Weird How jump what was there, nothing was going to happen. But Vistra basically says, "Hey guys, we're here," and throws this torch into this area. And
Wasn't the plan, but yeah.
yeah, and then the drakes are like, the only way you could open this thing up is if someone unlocked it, and the kobolds were running to try and unlock it. He just went, "That's it, I'm not waiting for these guys anymore," and ripped the freaking cage off the wall. Oh my god, I've been rolling so terribly good in some ways,
yeah.
and terribly bad in others. I can't believe
Change
this.
the colour of your dice. Stop using green.
Use the
Okay,
black
guys.
ones.
Hey, guys, I've got to run.
Alright, take care,
Yeah.
Callum.
Take it, and that's the guys. That's the end of our stream today, guys. Thank you. Even if you just popped in and lurked, or even just popped in for 5 minutes, we love having you with us. We don't normally do this back-to-back stream, but unfortunately, this is. But not unfortunately. Sorry, fortunately. Don't say unfortunately. What's wrong? But fortunately, we had this opportunity to engage with this wonderful event that Miniax is doing, and I know we've all really enjoyed it. I hope that if you did watch, maybe just think about a little donation to extralife.org.
Any
it can really
loose
change some
change
kids'
is greatly
life. Any loose
appreciated.
change, it's the price of a cup of coffee. Anything is greatly appreciated, and and your kind of generosity will go far with these kids. All right, so we're going to be ending the stream here for here for now. Miniax will be back on. I think he's got like another 2 hours on stream or something like that, and then
I'm gonna keep going until Katie gets home from work at about 12:30, I would say.
okay, so you've got a little bit longer. Good, better you than me. But you know what? You're a good man doing this and for letting us be part of this.
Thank you very much, Miniax. That's lovely of
fun,
you.
you guys. No, I mean this has been I gotta say, this has been both the most fun and most successful charity stream that I have been involved with so far.
Hey.
We actually we more than doubled the total donations annually since yesterday afternoon.
What's
That's
the number? If I can-
brilliant.
It's just over 250. I'd have to look it up. It's just over.
Yeah.
And we were like at $130 something. So yeah, we doubled the amount. Actually, based on the success of this, I'm considering stepping up the schedule and maybe doing another one instead of waiting 6 months, maybe do 4 months or 3 months if I'm feeling up to it. I know that the last one I felt really tired for a long time after. It took me a while to feel like I was ready to do it again, but based on this, lucky I've been today to have you guys to help me out.
Well,
it really has made it a little bit easier.
I was thinking maybe we could do something a bit themed. Maybe we could do a Halloween one or something. I mean, maybe not exactly on
Hey,
something
you know
like
what?
a Halloween themed one or something.
I
But that would
love
be all. So
so very much. Halloween is my favorite holiday.
Yes.
And maybe
Good old
we could
dress
do
up.
a Halloween one shot or something. So it's separate from if we probably still be doing Horde of the Dragon Queen, but maybe we'll
Yeah.
spend the time between now and then, roll up some new characters, and do just a straight up Halloween flavored one shot.
Yeah, let's do that. That sounds like a
That'd be
plan.
lovely.
It'd be kind of cool for you guys to have a second.
So
Anyway.
I mean, the
So,
way this campaign's going, just have a second character just in case.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say, like we did a really good job staying on time and everything today, and I feel like maybe if we had more advance notice and we're planning as a team, like we kind of have done this time, but have more advance notice, we might be able to get like a longer session in if we could start earlier in the day somehow. If it was planned in advance, you know, and it was like a special event.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about special events is then, I mean, if we know, definitely, I think to make time, we just need to know, you know, definitely on this day we're doing this, and we've got to put the time aside, so we have enough time to make sure that time is available, you know. But yeah, that sounds. I'm gonna end the stream here so that Miniax, you can go and get ready to do whatever you're gonna do for the last couple of hours of your
So,
stream.
so everyone, don't go anywhere. Stay with the
Stay
Meeple
here.
Palace.
Yep.
Continue with the 24-hour charity stream. Base will, because he's been taking the load of our laptop. He's the one technically streaming this from his end. But yeah, when it ends, Miniax will be back on the Meeple Palace straight after. And continuing with this wonderful 24-hour charity stream. Again, I'm going to pop it up. Extra life. Do it for the kids. Come on, people.
Do it
No,
for
you
the
want
kids,
to.
people. Let's see.
Yeah.
I want to see my phone exploding with red dots.
Yes. You've done so well, everyone. Thank you to our viewers. Thank you to our lurkers. Thank you to those that have donated. You are all freaking amazing, I think is fair to say.
And you know, it's not just the money that we raise. That is amazing, but it's also
It's
just
the awareness.
getting the awareness of the fact that Extra Life is even out there, out to more people. You don't know who might run a stream or do some kind of event for Extra Life and raise $1 million. You know what I mean? Like you don't know who might be the next. You know, Rooster Teeth. I watched last year on YouTube, and they raised a ton of money.
Well, we need to do something maybe a bit like your custom Jingle Jam Christmas, variety of different things, and whole $3 million or something last year for stuff that they did. I mean, I don't think we're going to ever be in that bracket yet, but it would be interesting to be able to have the opportunity to try and at least do something like that, like a variety.
Well, like I said, even if we just inspire somebody else, you know what I mean? Even if we just inspire one more person to get involved with charity itself, that's a help. That's a help.
That really is, yeah.
Okay. I'm afraid we're gonna have to end the stream here.
Thank you everyone for watching Horde of the Dragon Queen Season 1, Episode 12. It's been really, really fun. Base, you are more than welcome now, I think, to end the stream. And thank you to Minimal Games, thank you to Base, thank you to Miniax, thank you to Kellum. Thank you for Point for allowing us to use TAC, and we hope to see you
And
next
he didn't
week.
die.
And
Tac took no damage. Tac took no damage. So
Hey, successful.
Bye,
All right.
We love you.
All right. Bye.
Stay on for Miniax. Bye.